disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to another Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA, flying solo for the moment. I'm glad everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. I'm gonna tell you, we got a special episode today. We are going to be previewing one of the few remaining big fights in boxing right now. Of course, I'm talking about Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford. Should be an interesting one. I know a lot of people aren't picking Brook to win, but you never know what can happen. This is boxing after all. People are hitting themselves over the head for a living, so whenever you have that type of practice, the odds can always shift with one punch, despite it not being the actual heavyweight division. Nevertheless, these guys can pack quite a wallop, so we're going to be looking at that fight with interest. We're going to be looking at clips, just like we did for Terence Crawford against Pacquiao when we did a fantasy matchup. We're looking at clips like we did for Tank Davis, Lomachenko Lopez, Dervyachenko versus Charlo, and so on and so forth. So guys, thank you for joining us. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, guys. You know the drill. If you get a couple of shekels, you can wire our way. You can certainly do so via the Super Chat feature during the episode. Here in the Super Chat features you get on the YouTube chat. You can also donate via the BDA Patreon or PayPal page. But the most important thing, and you guys know what it is, that you continue listening to the show, continue to hit that likes up button, subscribing if you haven't done so already, and generally just spread the BDA gospel. Do us a solid. Speaking of solids, let's take a look at some of the solid people we get in the chat room. Oh, guys, if you could please mute your mic. Fantastic. Let me just get the intros here out of the way. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I'm talking about Mikey BZ, Elias Tufix, DJ N1, Hendo 79, Hard Recoil, SSB 28. Dead Game in the house as well. Shout out to Dead Game, Carlos Mendoza, Apology Man, Joel Upton Park, COYI, Saint Brit, Iceman, Lobito in the house as well, Cerny Banders, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe, BOKS, Official Scorecard Boxing. Check out his channel that he runs with corruption, which is called the Coup d'Etat Boxing. That's COUPD apostrophe Etat, which is ETAT. Elias Tufix, like I said, Carlos Mendoza. Shout out to Carlos Mendoza. GSTER, Cyan Blue, and many more to come, I'm sure, guys. Thank you for joining us. We will be opening up the phone lines and maybe even a StreamYard link. But remember, guys, if you jump on the StreamYard, it should be because you can't call in. The StreamYard link is reserved for outside of North American callers, and it's not, we have to rotate. You can't stay in there forever. All right, fellas? So now that we got that out of the way, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, I got two people here. We got Gonzalo and Apology Man in the Discord. Fellas, thank you for joining us. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen? How's it going?
I'm doing
Apologies,
shit.
Mr. Video.
But,
All right. First of all, you cut off Gonzalo, who was telling us how he feels great. He was giving up good vibes, and you had to jump in to say that you feel like shit. Now, is that something that you normally do? Apology.
No, but with this second fake lockdown, everything's just been depressing.
So what are you allowed and disallowed from doing?
Well, all the restaurants and gyms are closed. We're allowed to go to parks and shops, but we're not allowed to gather with people outside our household in groups of 6, I think. But apart from that, we can, still walk around, go to park, go to shops. But we can't go to bars and stuff like that, or social events.
You need to start sticking it to them, because these people, they will try to get away with anything, man. Another lockdown here. Then in December, another lockdown. Then before you know it, it's internment camps and vaccines. No, sorry, Bob. Not on BDA's watch.
No. Well, there's been loads of protests, loads, more than when the first lockdown happened. Mm-hmm. So that's a good sign, I guess.
You know what they call the globalists, right? Around the internet?
Pedophiles?
Well, but they also call them global homo. Global homo. Because they're gay.
You are gay.
That's right. And that is a fact.
You are correct. It's fact.
That's right. Now listen, fellas, we're going to be opening up the phone, as like I said, but we're also going to be looking at the clips for Kell Brook versus, what's his face? Terence Crawford. I want to get a feel about what's going on out there from people in the chat room too. I'm very interested. By the way, phone lines are open, so you can get on that for sure right now. Let me start with Gonzalo. Gonzalo, are you looking forward to the Kell Brook Crawford fight? And if so, what's the excitement that are you interested in that, or do you think Kell Brook has no shot at winning this?
Of course, he's got a shot, and he looked like he took his time to make the 147-pound division. Mm-hmm. And he had a close fight with this one guy. I think his name is Sarafa.
Yeah.
And
male stripper.
He came in. I think he beat Jeff Horn the first time. Then Jeff Horn came to avenge it, but still, it was like a close fight. Don't quote me, but there were close fights, and come to find out, the Sarafa guy wasn't garbage or anything. So Kell Brook struggled with him, but anyhow, he looks like he took his time. And I'm not the one to try to be negative right before a fight. I'm not the one stepping in there. It's this guy, and he's a professional fighter. And he probably is looking to win, like you said. One punch can change everything. So I'm not downplaying this. I think that a fighter's always dangerous, especially him being, one of the top fighters with everything that, all those layoffs and all. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to this fight, and I'm excited. And I'm trying to see if Terence Crawford can still show us that, he has all these tricks in his tool bag where he can still pull it out and get the knockout. But he always seems to be getting the knockout lately. And people want to criticize that he got holes in his game and everything. He's got holes, but he still seems to be getting these knockouts. So I'm interested to see how he performs as well.
That's a good point, because as we're going to look at later on with this whole Kell Brook thing, is he does have a lot of holes in his defense. Also, he's got some glaring flaws, but he keeps on winning. So it's almost like a Deontay Wilder type situation where, I'm not saying the flaws are as pronounced as they are with Deontay Wilder, but nevertheless, he manages to pull it off. So that's an important point right there. By the way, you mentioned Michael Sarafa. This was at 154 pounds, by the way. Kell Brook had moved up to that weight. He weighed in 150 pounds for the Sarafa fight. Meanwhile, Sarafa was 153. So Brook wasn't that far away from the welterweight limit. And if you look at Sarafa, he's got a pretty decent record. 27 wins, 4 losses, 16 knockouts. It's a pretty decent KO ratio, even though it's against nobodies or relative nobodies, but it still shows he can take out these relative nobodies because there's prospects out there. They put him in there against tomato cans. They can even knock him out. So
yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, the only stoppage loss that Sarafa had was against Peter Quillen, and that was back in 2015. And Peter Quillen is a middleweight, or was a middleweight at some point. I think now he's a super middleweight. So I don't think there's that much of a knock against Brook for not being able to stop the guy. He did put a beating on him, although the other guy did land a couple of shots on him too, which we're going to look at once we get to the clips. Apology, man. How about you, man? How are you feeling about this fight?
I'm pretty excited because I know that Brook's very vulnerable, especially at this point in his career.
Right.
I know both of them have power, both of them have skill, and I think it's going to be a firefight for as long as it lasts.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the vulnerabilities of both guys. When one guy gets hit and they think it's hurt, another guy will land, and it'll be like a back and forth fight. So I think it has potential to be a really good fight. It just depends on how Brook makes the weight.
Apology, I'm so glad you mentioned that, man, because a lot of people are looking at this fight and they're saying, oh, come on, Brook has no shot. The guy's got skills, and Crawford is there to be hit. So whether you believe he has a shot or not, during the fight, when you see if he manages to be landing on Crawford as I expect him to, you're going to be on the edge of your seat. So yeah, man, I'm with you on that one, Apology. I think it's going to be a good fight for as long as it lasts. Both guys can crack, by the way, too, as we're going to take a look at later on. We got phone calls already, so let's go to 917. 917, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Yo, what's happening, BDA?
How you doing, man?
The panel, whoever's in here, Gonzalo.
That's right, Apology, man, as well. What's on your mind, my friend?
All right, so let's compare the two fighters in terms of different aspects, right? You know, one thing that I thought about was resume. Kell Brook's biggest win was Sean Porter, and Crawford's biggest win is Jose Benavidez, right? Or Gamboa. So I think in terms of resume, as much as I hate to admit it, Kell Brook is the most difficult opponent Crawford has ever fought. And Kell Brook has a better resume than him. He fought Errol, and he fought Triple G. So in terms of resume, I would give the advantage to Kell Brook. And in terms of, even though Crawford is the better boxer, but I think in terms of sheer physicality, we'll have to give that to Kell Brook. And I think people are saying Kell Brook might have a chance to hurt him because we saw Crawford get dropped by what's that dude? Mean Machine, right? Mm-hmm. So I think if he's able to hurt him, it'll be interesting. But then other than that, I think Crawford is still superior in every other aspect. Ring IQ, boxing skills, and counterpunching, So, I think it's going to turn out to be very interesting.
You know what, man? It's interesting that you asked that question about who's Crawford's biggest win. Because I'm looking at an article here from Boxing Scene, okay, and it says, Crawford feels legacy secure with or without Spence. And he says, it might happen in 2021, he says, but I've never really felt like I needed Errol Spence for my legacy. He says, I am an undisputed champ, blah, blah, blah. If that fight doesn't happen, I don't feel like it will hurt my legacy. My legacy is... If it hurts the legacy, it hurts the legacy of the welterweight division. And in another statement, in a podcast, he said that he feels like his legacy is secure. I got to tell you guys, to me, his career, Terence Crawford's career, is a notch below Timothy Bradley. And I'll tell you why. Bradley beat a whole bunch of good fighters, man. He beat Kendall Holt, Junior Witter back in England. It was an upset. He beat Devin Alexander, who a lot of people consider was his biggest threat at 140 pounds, not counting Amir Khan. He did technically beat Manny Pacquiao. That's an all-time great right there. What's Crawford's all-time great legacy? I mean, he fought a lot of good fighters, But at least, with Triple G, he never got that big win. Although you could say once he stepped up against Canelo, he showed you that he was superior to Canelo in that first fight. What's Crawford's big win? Postal? Gamboa?
The unfortunate thing about Crawford's career is having signed to the wrong promotion. The promotion he signed to has no competition at welterweight. Depending on what weight class you are, you should, if you want to fight the best people, you should sign with the promotion that has your competition. If you're a lightweight, you sign with ESPN. You got all the lightweight guys. If you want to fight welterweights, you got to go over to Al Heyman. Don't you agree with that? But Kell Brook did it. He did it to himself. You knew who you wanted to fight. Yet, how does it make it easy to facilitate those fights when you purposely sign to Bob Arum, and he doesn't have to stable for you?
You're absolutely right, man. At a certain point, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with fighters. I don't know if Crawford has been begging for a big fight or for cross promotion, but we're gonna have to see if he finally steps it up. This Kell Brook fight ain't that bad, man. So, but we all want to. We all know.
I'm very excited for this fight.
By the way, before we move on, what's your prediction for this fight?
Late stoppage, 11th round or 12th round, or even final round stoppage, TKO Crawford.
Oh, that is a sensible prediction, my friend. That is a sensible prediction. And by the way, Crawford is a 14-1 favorite. So if you think Brook might have a chance,
disrespectful at 14-1.
Yeah, I agree, man. But hey, listen, if you think Brook has a chance, might be not that bad an idea to put a little money on him.
No, absolutely. And I feel like the early round, if a guy like Mean Machine could hurt Crawford, right? If a guy like Gamboa could hurt Crawford, someone that's strong in the beginning round, Kell Brook might even be able to drop him. Maybe. We'll see.
I will see, man. Anyway, listen, we're going to take more phone calls. Thank you for your call, and catch you on the next one, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you for calling.
And shout out to all the haters.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Sorry. He says what? Shout out to all the haters. All right, listen, you know what? You can call back later if you want, man. While we're taking more phone calls here or as we go along. Let's go to 620. 620, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? Shout out to BDA. It's a good channel, man. Just calling in, drinking my coffee, gonna put in my 2 cents.
I'm excited to hear it, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So, I wanted to make a case for Crawford's resume. I think every now and then you come across a fighter. A lot of these fighters some of them are average and some of them are above average. And we really gauge how good they are because we're gauging how good they are based on who they fight because we have to. I think when you look at Terence Crawford, yes, on paper, some people say he has a weak resume, but I want to make a case that he does not because much like Floyd Mayweather, the style in which he wins fights, when he does face somebody, he beats them with ease for the most part. People didn't put a lot of stock into Jeff Horn, but Jeff Horn was coming off a Pacquiao win. He was strong. He's damn near a middleweight, and you got a 140-pounder coming up for his first fight at 147, taking on a damn near middleweight and blowing him out. So that's a big thing. Is Crawford beats his opposition so well that we can say that, we don't know how good he would be if he fought this guy or that guy, but I think we do. It's the manner in which you win. We all knew Floyd could beat the best of the best, but we wanted to see it, but we all knew he could do it because of his style. And so that's a big thing for me too. I also wanted to say that I think Kell Brook does have a good shot at winning this fight because of the climate of boxing right now. You got people out here who are really looking forward to a Sean Porter versus Terence Crawford fight because of the way Sean Porter performed against Earl Spence. But what did Kell Brook do to Sean Porter? You know what I'm saying? Kell Brook made that look pretty easy. If that kind of Kell Brook shows up, it's going to be a good fight.
I hear everything you're saying, man, about Crawford. It's true. He's his resume is not bad, man. I mean, but it's you know what it is? It looks bad when you consider the opposition that's out there. But everything you said, it's true. Look, he hasn't, based on the way he's fought guys, of course, man, it's a 50-50 fight against Spence. Especially, it would be more than that if Spence, depending on how Spence looks against Garcia. But if Spence hasn't lost a step in spite of the car accident, I think Crawford's already shown you that against big level guys, he can take him out. Now, against the A-listers out there like Errol Spence, I think it would be competitive based on what he's been able to do. I completely agree with you on that one. Now, you said Kell Brook has a chance. Who are you picking for the fight?
I agree with the last caller. I think it's going to be a late round stoppage for Terence Crawford, and here's the reason why. I think Terence Crawford has a very natural instinct. And if Terence Crawford fights Kell Brook, straight right hand for straight right hand, jab for jab, it's going to be a long night. To me, Crawford has something that Kell probably lacks, and I think Crawford can do a huge dimension of things. His footwork, he's going to need to be tricky and crafty in this fight. He's absolutely going to need to be tricky and crafty, and he can't do that, man. He's beaten guys. Like I said, his opposition may have not been all that, but he decides, hey, I'm gonna fight southpaw for this whole fight. Who's doing that? Who's doing that out there? His comfortability really speaks volumes.
That's true, man. He's very comfortable in there. And, you know, like the other caller said, he's also got a late round stoppage for Crawford. So that seems to be the storyline coming in. I mean, not the storyline, but the logic going into the fight. So listen, we're going to move on to another call, but thank you for calling in and enjoy the fight this Saturday. All right?
All right, man. Appreciate it. Peace.
All right. Take it easy, man. All right. Hold on a second. Where am I here? Let's go to 773. You're on the air. 773.
You know what makes the difference between a good fighter and a great fighter?
What's that, Kevin?
No. Here we go.
What's that, Kevin?
A good fighter looks good for the beginning to the middle of the fight. A great fighter looks great all the way through till the end. The ones that's showing up in championship rounds, and that's what Terence Crawford does. He puts the pressure on as he breaks guys. Mentally and physically, he breaks guys. Kell Brook's already shown he'll break, he'll fold. You put the pressure on him, and he'll tap out. I feel like that's what Terence Crawford's going to do.
Can I respond to the caller?
Well, hold on. Let's let Kevin finish his points, and then we'll let you respond. Kevin, that's your point, right? And it's a good point, by the way.
Yeah, that's my point. I feel like Kell Brook will melt. He'll melt under the pressure. Terence Crawford, when he turns the heat up, and he puts his mind to breaking the guy down, they wilt. They wilt fast. You got to put him in there with the elite. This dude's a pound for pound fighter, and he's not fighting the elite. Sorry, but
all right. Apology.
Is just not.
Let's let
good, man.
We got you. What? All right. Apology.
Ahead,
what do you disagree with about that?
I agree with him melting Kell Brook. I think that's how the fight will end. But I disagree with him calling him a great fighter. Like, Crawford's not great the whole way through. If you watch all of his fights, the same pattern happens. He gets hit with combinations and loses the first 3 or 4 rounds, or is down the cards, and either steady steps up and either finishes strong or knocks his opponent out, or he resorts to cheating, low blowing, hitting behind the head, and then wins that way. So Crawford's definitely a good fighter, but I think you're giving him way too much credit. He's not great. And in those early rounds when he's vulnerable, that's where Brook can take him out.
Well, I tell you what, man, whether you want to call Crawford great, B level, C level, whatever, I think Kevin's point still stands, man. Crawford looks strong throughout the fight whenever he fights. Kell Brook has already shown that by the late rounds, he can sometimes falter a little bit. I mean, against Sean Porter, he did a lot of holding later on in the fight, more than in the beginning. Against Spence, he fell apart. Against Sarafa, he was okay, but I think that's Kevin's point here. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, but you said throughout
That's my
You
point.
said throughout the
That's my
fight. I'm
point.
just pointing out I'm just pointing out that he Crawford doesn't start off strong, and that's when he's vulnerable.
That's true. That's true. He's not. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you want to get technical about that, he's not. He doesn't start strong and then stay strong throughout the fight. That's true. But Kevin, who are you picking for this fight?
I got Crawford seventh round stoppage, and the thing with Crawford is he's always, I don't know. You look at someone like Lomachenko, and he's always there at the end of the fight. He's always there. He's always pushing the pace in the later half of the fight. In all of his fights, he's the one pushing forward. You can't say that for most guys. Anybody can get buzzed early. Anybody can get rocked. They can get stunned. But what happens after he gets stunned? What happens after they get hurt? They get up and they push the pressure. That's everyone's big talking point. Oh, he got hurt by this guy. He got hurt by that guy. That makes him that much greater. The fact that he can get buzzed. He can get dropped by a mean machine. He gets up and he continues to walk him down and break him and stops him. That's just a sign of how good he is. The fact that he can do that being hurt. So, and my only critique is he needs to be fighting the best. He should be fighting Earl Spence. He should be fighting Manny Pacquiao. He should be fighting these guys. And I'm really not looking forward to this fight. It's going to be a wash.
All right.
And
well,
that's all I got to say.
all right. Kevin, thank you for calling in, man. We'll catch you on the next one, man. All right, we got Recognize the Matrix and we got Mark on the line. Guys, are you there?
Yeah, hello, hi.
Hello, gentlemen. I'll tell you what's going on. We got Apology and Gonzalo looking forward to the fight. Then you got somebody like Kevin saying it ain't going to be that good. So I'm curious. Let's start with Recognize. Recognize, thoughts on this upcoming fight? Looking forward to it? Indifferent? What's going on?
I have a feeling this is going to be a good fight. I think Kell Brook's going to come ready. I think he's like, this is my last shot. He's always been, above average fighter. He's got good tools. He's strong.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say that I'm expecting a good fight. I think Crawford ends up beating him. I know people give Crawford a lot of shit for his last fight. That's because of the way the sports media, mainstream sports media hype him. But I thought it was his best performance because that's how he fights. That's what he's good at.
Mm-hmm.
And Kavaluskas brought it out on him. I'm not expecting a fucking phenomenal boxing skills, even though he does got good boxing skills. But I thought that his last fight, if he can fight like that, it'll get him fucked up against somebody like Earl Spence maybe, and even maybe Sean Porter. But I thought it was a very good performance on his part. I love the way it approach. I think that's going to be Kell Brook is going to give him that kind of fight and have some success. Definitely early.
Mark, what do you think, man?
I think it's a potential banana skin, potentially. If Kell Brook is in good shape at 147, he can make it really tough for Terence. He's a bad stylistic matchup. But having said that, he ain't fought a welter for 3 years. Last time he was there, he had his eye fractured. He doesn't have his trainer in his corner, Dominic Ingle. So everything's kind of boding against him. I don't know, man. I think Terence is a bit overrated anyway, to be honest. But yeah, I expect him to get.
I'm right, he is.
Well, yeah, right. Bit like Kell Brook is overrated off of the Sean Porter win. But I think Kell could give him some trouble. The straight right hand is there for him. But other than that, if he's not in peak condition, if Crawford doesn't beat him, then that's bad, to be honest. Because any of these top guys right now should be able to beat beat Brook, considering how long he's been out of high level action.
Mark, I want to get to the whole welterweight thing because that's a big question too about whether he's going to be able to make the weight comfortably. But just you would probably know about this. Is there any drug testing for this fight, or any high level drug testing?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. No mention of USADA, VADA, any
That's
of them.
great.
There's
That's
been
great.
no mention.
That's great. That's excellent.
That's fantastic.
Well, it's not. It doesn't really benefit Brook because he doesn't have his drug dealer. He doesn't have Dominic Ingalls, so it's not like he's really got
Oh,
the
wait a
money,
minute.
you know.
Can't you get another one though, Mark? I'm pretty sure there's plenty around.
Yeah, but
UK.
none of them in the UK are as good as Dominic Ingalls. Ingalls Pringles, baby.
That's
all
true.
Hey, let me show you.
If he was in America, he could be replaced real quick.
Yeah, that's
Kell Brook
true,
would
man.
Be able to find him real quick.
Hey, fellas, look in the Discord. I'm sharing the screen. I'm going to put it up here on the YouTube as well. This is from the documentary that Brook had, mini documentary prior to the DeLuca fight. Look at this motherfucker's arms, man. He's got a strong chest. Look at his arms, his biceps. This guy, how does he make 147?
Methodologies, man. That's the only thing, man. I can't relate. I can't relate to people who could do that shit. I have no idea to be honest, how the fuck they do that. Other than 5 or 10 pounds, I can't relate to anybody dropping 20, 25 pounds. And beyond that. So I mean, yeah, he's in great shape. The guy's got a nice build. You could tell he could fill in pretty easily. You know, I think what Mark said and other people said, he hasn't fought at. I'm gonna say the last fight he had at welterweight was Errol Spence, and that was over 3 years ago.
Whoa.
Over 3 years. So
yeah, it's true, man.
I don't know how he does it.
By the way, I was a little afraid there where you were going. We're like, oh, he's got a nice build. He's tight. He's ripped. He's got. I mean, take it easy, man. All right, man.
He's a okay. Listen, the better way to put it, he's a good-looking athlete.
He's a fag.
All right, listen. I don't know who's playing those sounds, but you're right. I mean, look,
You
listen.
are gay.
Listen, it's one thing to say
You
that.
are a homosexual.
All right, we get it, man.
You are correct. It's fact. You are right.
All right, listen. The point is this, man.
You were wrong.
I've noticed something, BDA. I've noticed something because
What have you
personally,
noticed?
I met a lot of fighters, and sometimes TV makes you look bigger than what you really are.
That's true.
And this guy, he looks very muscular, like low body fat. He's not that tall, so maybe on the TV the appearance is like he's like a giant. Look, but some of these guys, when you watch them, when you see them personally, they're not that big.
Hey,
They just
Gonzalo.
look big.
Gonzalo, if you see me on TV, I look as big as Anthony Joshua. If you see me in person, I'm a little smaller than Usyk.
Yeah, fucking recognize, man. Recognize every. I tell you, with every show, he adds an inch to his height. When he started out
I'm
this.
telling you, I'm not lying about this.
The first time you told us your height 2 years ago, you were 5'11", and by the time we're done, by the time the decade ends, yes, you did. By the time the decades end, you're gonna be a fucking Nephilim, man. Let's get out of here.
When I first met him, he was 5'8". He's 6'3" now.
6'4".
He's like Demetrius Andrade, bro. He keeps getting taller.
6'4".
And by the way, it's interesting that you mentioned that, but it's true. Television can make things look bigger. I mean, that was a big thing in the industry too. Like you would use the cameras, and
I knew you was going there, man.
if you stand in front of the cameras, you look, you're like, hey, man, I could. And then you look at the other guys, and or you look at yourself in the mirror in real life, and you go, oh boy, I was wrong. But it's interesting.
I had a friend that met Sugar Shane Mosley, or he saw him in the mall over in Pomona, and he told me that he looks like a crackhead.
Hey, you remember when Sugar Shane? You remember when Sugar Shane fought? No, he's not lying. When Sugar Shane fought Vernon Forrest the first time, he was in New York, so he got on the same plane as me and my boys. We were going to Florida. I think he was going to like another. He got on the plane with us. He was going to go to Florida, then he was going to go somewhere else. He was talking to us. Yo, he was little. He had like bruises on his face from the fight, and shit like that. But he was a little dude. Nothing like what I saw on TV. I was like, damn, he's small.
It's very interesting, man.
Yeah, like maybe with like no shirt, he looks big. Like some bodybuilders, when they're skinny, they look really, really big because their muscles are like really defined.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that muscular build.
All right, that's enough of that, man. Listen, the point is this, man. There's another thing going on here, which is that I didn't know this. This could potentially be Crawford's last fight with Top Rank. This is what he said on the Last Dance podcast. He said probably in like a few months, talking about his contract. It's always been that way, he says, if he doesn't get the fights that he wants. So this could be his last fight, right? Which brings me to another point, which is that for this fight, Kell Brook has come out and said, no, he hasn't come out. He's come out and said that this fight, there will be no rehydration clause. So we're talking about weight. We're talking about how he makes 147. Well, guess what? He will be able to weigh as much as he wants in that fight. And then, like, I have not been able to get confirmation, which is that there might not be any testing for this fight, any hardcore drug testing. So we got a Brook who could be going in there with as many supplements as he wants in his system and with no rehydration clause. So, guys, what is the... Bob Arum, he's a sneaky guy when he wants to. What if he says, you know what, Terence, you're not getting away from me that easily, like a scorned lover. What if he tries to do something so that it's a close fight, they give it to Brook, and then Crawford has to stay with Bob Arum if he wants to get that rematch? Is that something that's possible, or is my paranoid mind going places?
No,
He's
yes.
done it before, hasn't he?
Done that before.
He did it with Pacquiao.
Anything's possible with Bob Arum, bro.
Because, I mean, listen, no rehydration clause? Or maybe that's actually to help Terence Crawford, too. Because they say, he said...
That's exactly what it's for, BDA. Sorry. Hi, guys. All right.
Oh,
I've
Stu.
just got the link now. Yeah, I just woke up. I had one of them little old man naps.
Stu had a nice little nap, man.
Yeah, I had one of them old man naps, when you have your tea, you get a bit full up.
I take them.
You have your dinner, sorry. We call it our tea. You have your dinner and you feel a bit bloated. So you just go and lay down before you know it, 2 hours are gone. But yeah, I mean, that's everything in that clause is there to help Terence. It's not there to help Kell, I can assure you.
Yeah.
On Mark, were you going to say something about that, or? Because I thought he had something to say about the rehydration clause.
No, I was just saying nothing's possible with Bob Arum, man. Anything.
Yeah, man, because look, listen, this is just me on caffeine thinking out loud, But let's keep an eye on it, because again, if Brook goes in there, he could make in shape, and with his eye, in good shape, hey, he could pull something off, man. You never know. Close enough, right? And
I still think the reason why he did get his eye sockets broke was because constant years of draining weight, taking the fluid away from your eye sockets, and that's what it is. I mean, if you look into that stuff, I mean, I'm no medical doctor when it comes to that sort of thing, but I know I've read certain things where that causes bones to break around the face when you're constantly weight draining yourself and taking the. Because once you start eating away, once you've got no more water to lose, you start eating away at the muscle, don't you? And I think because he was constantly draining himself over the years to get to weight, and I think that's probably what caused the cheekbones to give him.
It's possible, man. It's also possible that Golovkin power never let him recuperate. By the way, fellas, before we continue, let's go to a phone call here. 559, you're on the air. 559, what's on your mind?
Yeah, can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're a little bit muffled, but I hear you fine. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say, because everybody keeps saying about how Crawford is a bit flawed and all this stuff, but I don't think he's flawed as much as whenever you've heard him talk before about he thinks he can beat everybody, but that's no fun, and he's an entertainer first. If you notice, whenever he's fighting those fighters that's pretty much just in there just to keep him busy, he tends to want to scrap a little bit. He cannot box them all damn day and then all of a sudden for a round he's brawling for no reason. But he doesn't do that against, like, when he fought Postol, he didn't do that. He's out there just boxing. All those or against Ndongo or Horn, all those fights that he wanted to win, he doesn't do that. It's all these fighters where it's kind of just a tune-up fight, just to keep him busy, just to not get rust. But against Errol Spence, he won't. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna fight him the same way he fought Velasquez, or I think that's his name. I mean, he's not gonna do that exact same thing. He thinks, because even he said that he thought Mayweather. He used to watch Mayweather for his defense, but he hated his offense. He thought it was boring. He's not a fan of that type of box. So he wants to put a show too. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, man. What do you guys think? Do you think Crawford sort of like fights down a little bit to his opposition, and when he wants to, he can fight very composed and disciplined in terms of defense?
Well, is it because he wants to or because he has to? Because for the Postol fight, for example, he didn't really go for the finish. He was content with just outboxing outside. So is that because Postol was stronger than he expected? I think you need to give more credit to him.
No, I think
stop hyping him up.
I think Terence Crawford actually went about his business how he wanted to that night, and he knew it cost him. And he's been trying to rebuild his rebuild his career. I'd say rebuild his reputation as an exciting fighter, because it turned a lot of people off. And you only got to look at the numbers Terence Crawford's bringing in. And recently, his performance where he's become a lot more busier. He's become a lot more spite in his punches. He's looking like he wants to take these kids out, and I like that. I've been liking what I've been seeing from Terence Crawford later. But when he fights like that, he also gives his opponent more opportunities. And we all know that he does have certain flaws, what he needs to get rid of, because if he doesn't, Kell Brook will exploit them. And, you know, Terence Crawford's a very good fighter, but he's not unbeatable. No ways this man can be beat, I can assure you.
If they can be hit, they can be beat. That's what I always say.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Hey, caller, you made a great point about Crawford. Now, what's the percentage of chance of success you give Brook in this fight?
I'd say it's probably like a 35-65 fight. Crawford, like he has like a buzzy chin, you know, like one of those like Gamboa, like you hit him and he falls down, he's buzzed, but he doesn't have that lights out chin. He's not gonna go to sleep. Kind of like Marquez, you know, you could hit Marquez with a fucking Juan Manuel Marquez with a bat, and he'll just wobble and get up, and you'll hit him again, he'll just wobble and get up. I think that's what Crawford has, because you've seen him buzz before, when he tries to fuck around and then he looks a little, his eyes look a little weird and shit, and so, you know, obviously Brook has power, so he obviously has a chance. He can get him, especially if Crawford is ahead in the fight and he tries to mess around like he tends to do. Kell Brook can catch him. I give him a okay chance, maybe 40%, but Crawford should be able to get him.
That's a great point, man. You brought up some fantastic points, man. And yeah, 65-35, that's about how I see it. And it's not because I think Kell Brook is a bad fighter, but it's just the Crawford's talent and skills and the conditions of this fight based on Brook coming down, the fact that he hasn't fought at welterweight in a while. He hasn't actually fought a world-class fighter in a while. So great points there, caller. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, I just wanted to bring that up. A lot of people forget that he tends to fall into that trap of want to be an entertainer and not just box, because he's not a fan of that either. And he mentions that all the time. So when you see him messing around or want to be brawling, because he said he always been a brawler since he was a little kid. He always got into fights and he enjoyed fighting and all this shit. And his mom was like a big brawler too. She would always be want to fight and put him into fights. You know like when Mexicans, you know how they're like, oh, he told you something, you better go kick his ass, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Or his mom would tell him the same shit. So he likes to brawl.
Damn.
So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
That's a huge bitch.
Yeah, usually, I mean, if a father won't usually tell you that, he'll usually say, listen, you save fighting for when it's ready or when you need it. Women tend to be more like, you're about to kick that motherfucker's ass. You ain't going to let him talk to that guy. I was like, Jesus, you don't know what you're doing because you've never been in a fight. But anyway, listen, caller, thank you for your call, man, and your points, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, man?
Awesome. Thank you.
Take it easy, my friend. Fellas, it reminds me of something here because we're talking about the weight class. This is what Kell Brook had to say about the weight class, no rehydration clause. He says, the things that I've had to go through previous fights, you know, like getting ill and not being great with the weight and not being as fit as I should be, and I still go out and beat these guys and fought Golovkin and Errol Spence of the world. So imagine what happens, what I'm like now mentally. Guys, he's coming out with the I've never been 100% excuse, and we all know it for being long-time boxing fans. You're never 100% going to a fight. Well, what do you guys think about that statement?
Exactly what you just said. It's that. It's just nobody's 100%. You don't need to be reminding us all the time.
Well, there's some truth to that because he was fighting Golovkin, who was bigger, So even if he was 100%, that 100% wasn't gonna be enough to beat a bigger guy that was 100% himself. So after that, he deteriorated because I mean he got his face broken. So maybe he was, I don't know, 70% against what's this guy freaking Errol Spence. Yeah. So
he's
after a
been
while,
doing
you
that his
know,
whole career.
he's older, so maybe making 147 wasn't that easy any longer. But now it's been a while. But at the same time, I think he took his time to make the weight, and there's no rehydration clause, so he might be in better shape now. And we got to remember, these guys are similar in age. Him and Terence Crawford.
Well, in
Carson Jones,
Brooks'
the first.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Because you're going to
Actually-
say the same point I'm saying.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're going to... No, go ahead, man. You're going to say what I was going to say.
Somebody go, please.
Yeah, it's like
I
the
was
little
just gonna
kids in the kindergarten pushing each other. You
Come
go,
on, let's go.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You throw the first pitch. No, you throw the first pitch. No, you throw it.
Okay, let me go. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. The two fights with Carson Jones, he was carrying an elbow injury. He said it before both fights. You know, before the Golovkin fight, he was coming down with the flu. With all of his fights at welterweight, including before the Sean Porter fight, he was struggling to make weight. I mean, Kell's been doing this his whole career. He's been saying he's not 100%. It doesn't make any difference. He's been saying this. He's fought his whole career not being 100%. The dude's never 100%.
I got a prediction. Kell Brook will never fight at 100%.
Then I remember reading in the Ring magazine he had that machete wound also. Remember that? Remember, guys?
When he tried to buff hook some dude out of Marbella and then he got stabbed in the leg. That was funny.
Is that what happened?
So maybe that's true. He wasn't 100% because of that.
There's two
afterwards.
stories to it, BDA.
No, I know he got stabbed,
right? Like,
on the drug. Well, there's two stories. The first story, he got stabbed because of some drug deal gone wrong. But the actual story that people believe is that it was in some like gay orgy.
Oh, man.
Something happened. He got stabbed.
He hit on some dude and he got stabbed, bro.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor. I mean, I've never looked at Kell Brook and thought, I wonder if he's a fag or not. I just don't really care. All I care
straight,
about
you're gay.
All I care about is him going in the ring.
Chocolate brownies is like a euphemism for fudge packing, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
It might be, Mark. I mean, like I said, I'll take your word on that. I really don't know that, but it's a bit. When he used to say chocolate brownie, I used to fucking cringe a little bit. Did you? It doesn't actually put fear into your opponent saying you're going to hit him with a chocolate brownie. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't. But
puts fear into me.
Kell Brook's a serious talent, man. Honestly, Kell Brook is a serious talent. If it all clicks on the night, Terence is in for a hell of a fight. The problem is the odds are stacked. The odds are stacked against Kell because obviously his recent form, his lack of fights, his up and down the divisions. I mean, how many? It's 1 minute he's 152, then he's 147, then he's 160, then he's 154. I mean, come on, man, you cannot fight like that up and down the fucking weights. So that's been a problem. But look, I've been hearing this COVID's been the best thing to happen to him because the gay bars have been closed, so he ain't been able to go out. Has he? No, I'm joking.
Hey, but Bucho makes a great point. Bucho makes a great point in that chat group.
He's been staying at home, training in the gym. They reckon he's in the best shape of his life. I know all fighters say that, but I've looked at Kell and he does look in good shape. And if he can get down to, they reckon he's only 4 pounds off the weight. I mean, that's great going. So hopefully that's the case and get a proper fight.
Bucho makes a great point, man. He says he has a lisp. I mean, that just says it all right there, doesn't it?
Not all the time. Mike Tyson got a lisp.
Yeah. He went to prison. What do you think happens in prison, man? Come on.
Yeah, don't forget. He said, "I'm gonna fuck you till you love me."
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Grievous in the chat says he's never been excited for a Kell Brook fight. Sorry, but I don't know where it was. Grievous American. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't expect Americans to get up for Kell Brook fights. Just like, I don't. But I just don't look. Just like I don't get it for many of their fighters either. So it's just one.
I was excited. I was excited when he fought Carson Jones the first time. Right, didn't really care about the rematch. I was excited for the Porter fight. Right?
Yeah, but Mark,
hold on. I was excited for the Spence fight because I went to the damn thing.
Right, mate, that was brilliant. Yeah.
Other than
How
that,
can you not?
what's
Hey,
the win?
he's just lied there to himself. Grievous has just lied to himself just to be a hater. Sound like a hater because there's no way he thought Kell Brook and Errol Spence is not a fight to get you up for it. It's not. There's no way he didn't get excited for that because my fucking butterflies were coming back. You know when there's a good fight on, a close fight, a big fight when the butterflies start to go before the fight, and that's what happened that night. So I know for a fact he would have been getting up. Or no, what is it? You're behind us, so you'd have been in the daytime when that fight happened. So yeah, he'd have been in the bar with his pint watching that fight, man. I know for a fact he was. So stop
Would
lying.
you please stop saying? Please, guys, stop saying. Oh, would he get it up? Would he? Because we were just talking about Brook in Norwich or something. You guys like, oh, get it up, get it up, get it up. Come on, man.
Either you a faggot or you're not.
Yeah, that's right.
BDA. I think hey, that's probably why Cal got stabbed for saying that. Can you get it up? Do you know what I mean?
That's what I was saying, BDA.
Voice, though. Never mind the gay shit.
That's what I was saying, BDA. Within the stab wound, the going up in weight, and the broken face, maybe he wasn't 100%.
And the gay orgies.
And now
gay orgies can take
better.
Gay orgies can take a lot out of you too, man. Don't forget that one.
Especially the hips. Especially in the hips.
Especially in the
right,
hips. That's
BDA,
right.
In the hips.
Hey, listen, fellas.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fight where I just think too many people are overlooking Kell Brook. I just don't think they understand what's in front of Terence Crawford either. Look, this guy was outboxing Spence for me. He was winning the fight, and I think Errol Spence's will to win just overwhelmed him in the end. Because let's be serious, Errol Spence has got a lot of dog in him. He can box, he can, and when he wants to, he can be. You know, we did that against Mikey, and I wasn't too impressed, to be honest with you. But when he grits on his gum shield and takes it to the trenches, this man's got the dog in him, and I think that's what overwhelmed Brook in the end. The body, when he started landing the big body shots and just started trading in the pocket with Kell. Kell likes to throw his straight punches and sort of grab and hold, and Spence was strong in the hold as well. He's fighting his way out the hold, and I think he got caught in a big shot as well that fractured his eye socket. That didn't help. I know for a fact it wouldn't have done. But I think it was just the pure work rate of Errol Spence and the pure pressure that just overwhelmed him in the end. But I don't know if Terence has got that. Terence has got a dog in him, but I don't know if he's got what Errol's got in him. Do you know what I mean? I think Terence has been hurt a few times for me. He's probably good at showing it, but I've seen him hurt. Where Spence, he's just tough as they come.
Yeah,
that's why I'd always pick Spence ahead of Crawford.
Spence has
Yeah, go ahead.
Spence has better body work, but I think they both have the same, like you said, I think they both have that same fire inside of them, but Spence is just the consummate pressure fighter when he wants to be.
Well, look, yeah. I mean, Spence actually when he started fighting Sean Porter, he actually started winning the battle in the trenches with Sean Porter. So that's what where Terence, if Sean Porter was doing that to Terence, I think Terence would start making mistakes and start panicking because he gets wild, doesn't he? And he gets caught with shots. I mean, Benavides was catching him with big shots. Kavaluskas was hitting him with big shots. You know, Terence is there to be. I think Terence can be knocked out. I'm quite confident.
Especially early, Stu. Especially in the earlier rounds, that's where he could get dropped. You know, get hit with big shots. So yeah,
that's true.
I'm not totally sleeping on Kell Brook. I just expect Terence Crawford to come through. You know?
For me, Terence Crawford should fight. Correction, fucking Kell Brook should fight like he fought against Golovkin. He should punch off the fly because he's not gonna get hit back by Terence Crawford like he did against Golovkin. Now, yeah, Terence Crawford got power, but if he goes punch for punch, tit for tat like he did against Errol Spence, man, Terence Crawford is very patient, and that's gonna go nowhere. I think Terence Crawford will win the decision or probably stop him late. I don't think he got that power to stop him, but if he gives him space and time, I think Terence Crawford can exploit that. So I wouldn't go tit for tat, punch for punch, but I would punch off the fly and try to put pressure, not load up on my punches, and try to put him in a position, you know, where he doesn't have a time to think or react. That's how I would fight him, like he did against Golovkin. But yeah, okay, he got knocked out by Golovkin, but that's a different story.
Listen, the thing is, if he fights like that against Crawford, that might be enough. The thing is, Crawford's not going to eat those shots up like Pac-Man, like he did that night. And he was walking through Kell Brook's shots to get his own off, where them shots hitting Terence Crawford are going to have far more effect.
That's right.
So,
That's right. 100%, Stu. I agree totally. That's what I was thinking, man.
I agree, Gonzalo.
Hey, you know what, man? Before we continue with the, because I want to show one last thing here that caught my interest before we get to some actual clips here of, or actually start breaking down the fight itself. This was from Boxing Scene, and it says, I'm gonna put it on the screen here. You guys in the Discord can click on the shared screen and you'll see it. Amir Khan says, Brook can stop Crawford's reign. I'm going to be rooting for him. And there's a photograph of these two guys, what's it called? Fist bumping each other, which is something that Kell Brook probably does in his gay orgies, but that's another thing that they call it. And he says, Kell Brook's a good fighter.
They probably go together now.
That's right. He says, look, as a Brit, Khan says, we have to support our own fighters and we have to support each other. And even though we've not looked eye to eye for many years, at the end of the day, I'm going to be rooting for him. Guys, this reminds me of when Eric Morales fought Manny Pacquiao the first time, and Barrera, who'd been stopped by Pacquiao, said, hey, look, listen, I'm going to be rooting for the Mexican. And Eric Morales hated Barrera, so he said, shut the fuck up. It's like, he's being fake about it. Barrera's fake. He's just saying all the right things in the camera so that people like him. I want to see Kell Brook do the same thing. I want to hear him say...
That was a good answer,
Yeah, man.
That was a good response, man. I like
that. They're friends now.
No, but yeah, I know now, but back then it was like, hey, man, Eric Morales said it. Fuck this guy. He's just saying the right things to look good. And by the way, Barrera always seemed a little bit fake to me, man. After the, which fight? After the Morales fight, where Morales' father, or Morales himself, I forget, threw a water bottle at Barrera, and Barrera goes, no, we have to, there's a lot of kids watching. We have to set an example. Meanwhile, this motherfucker soccer punched him in the press conference for the second fight. So, I don't like it when I want guys to be real. If you're going to be an asshole, be an asshole. Don't try to hide it, man. But also, the thing that made me laugh here was the comment section. I had to go to Boxing Scene, and I had to go to the comment section. It says, just shows how thick-skinned this idiot Khan is, and especially relating to this matchup with Crawford. Khan was decked in the first round and hurt, and on off his feet at the end of the fight, first round, never winning one round, and never looking like he was going to. He was hit with a low blow. He was hit with a blow which clearly landed on the thigh, and he immediately bailed out. Khan is a complete buffoon, and folks can easily see what is going on through his little mind. Then this other guy goes, I saw the video of them fist bumping, and the vibration from the fist bump traveled to Khan's chin, rendering him lighted, headed, and dizzy, and needing support for a few seconds. Grade A chin right there. And then somebody says, last comment says, Khan is sad as hell. The guy really thinks he's still a top boxer. He literally just wants to be handed title fights by doing nothing. What's with the Khan hate, man?
Yeah, I don't like Khan either. I get where that guy's coming from.
Well, I know you do, because you're a hateful person too. But I mean, Khan, he did fight Canelo when he didn't have to. He fought everybody.
Yeah, but I've been saying this for ages, BDA. I've been saying it for ages. This guy is a fucking clown, right? And look, he was shook to his boots even in the press conference before the fight. He looked at Terence Crawford with so much fear in his eyes. I knew it was over then. And look, did Amir Khan really believe he was going to do anything? And Amir Khan's probably holding on the fact, well, I did catch Terence with a couple of shots, and he'll be holding on that to the day he dies. And the arrogance of this kid, where he thinks he can just get knocked the fuck out, just sit back in his chair and wait for the big fights to come to him. Oh yeah, the Pacquiao fight's there for me if I need it. Floyd will come out of retirement to fight me if I need it. Golovkin's. Can you remember when he said the Golovkin's fight's there if I want it? I mean, he must want to die. He must want to die in a fucking boxing ring. When he said that, I'm like, I mean, if you think Canelo's sleeping, if you think Canelo's sleeping it, but I mean, you will be meeting your God if you get in there with fucking Golovkin. I can assure you. I mean, it's just the guy. He's become an embarrassment. Yeah, he's an embarrassment. He really.
That was a strange fight.
And Ken Shiro in the chat says, What does Kell bring that Khan doesn't? I mean, is he for real? I mean, there's stratospheres apart when it comes to quality of fighters. Kell Brook will never get knocked spark like that, ever.
One thing that I always used to give credit to Amir Khan was, I thought that he would always go out on his shield, even though he had a shaky chin. Against Crawford, he didn't do that, man. I thought he was going to go out on the shield. Getting knocked out or not, he was going to put it all on the line. And for that fight, he didn't. That was weird, man. That was a strange fight.
That's true, man. Mark, you were going to say something about American?
Fuck him.
Oh. Well, listen, I'm putting up some pictures here of American looking like a man's man. And I don't understand the hate for the guy. He fought everybody. He fought Canelo. But listen, people are entitled to their opinion.
No. He ducked Brook to fight Canelo so that he could get more money. Like, that was a no-lose reward for him. No lose. You go up there and you fight against him. You're a former 140-pounder with no chin. If you get knocked out like the entire world expects you to, what happens? Oh, you chase greatness? Get the fuck out of here. Complete cash grab.
100%. 100%. Look, this guy, it's all about money with him. I mean, look, he'll quite happily put his fucking chin on the line for the right price, and he has done before. Look, the guy I think he thinks he's a lot more important in boxing than he really is. And Kell Brook, and the reason is because Kell Brook made him look important by chasing him around like some lovesick teenager. It was embarrassing.
Remember when he said Floyd Mayweather ducked him and Manny Pacquiao ducked him?
Oh no! Can you imagine what Pacquiao would have done to Khan?
Hey, by the way, fellas,
if you thought Ricky Hatton was bad, wait till you see that one.
Well, now that we're comparing fighters, it reminds me of something I was talking about before you guys jumped in here, which is that Crawford says, according to Boxing Scene, and I think he said the same thing in a podcast, he says that his legacy with or without Errol Spence is secure. We've heard criticism before of Triple G, people saying, well, he never fought anybody, he never beat anybody. But at least you could say that when he stepped in there against Canelo in the first fight, what happened in the ring was that he showed that he was better. What has, isn't Terence Crawford's career a little bit subpar right now? I mean, what's his biggest win? Think about it. Somebody please tell me, what's his biggest win?
Postall's his best win, followed by Gamboa.
140.
Well, there you go.
His natural weight.
And that Postal fight was terrible, man.
Look, this is my point of view on the whole thing. Terence Crawford is a highly accomplished fighter with a pretty average resume. I can't keep. And all these Crawford fanboys, man, they're ridiculous. They're like, you can't say that. You can't do this. I don't think his resume. I actually think his resume in just the win column alone is on the same level as Adrian Broner's.
Oh.
Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but Broner has Malinaji, he has Khabib, he's also got DeMarco. I mean, Crawford's resume in the win column ain't better than that.
Yeah, I mean, the Marcus Madonna win stands out for me. But if you go back and watch that fight, yeah, Khan was brilliant early on, but in the latter rounds was hanging on for his dear life. I mean, he was getting smashed from pillar to post. Even the British commentators were going, hold on, I'm here, hold on. Do you know what I mean? They just wanted him to hold on, man, so he didn't get knocked the fuck out. But, yeah, I mean, it was a close one, wasn't it? It was a close one, that one. And that was a good win. But after that, I mean, but this was a Madonna that had already lost to, I think, Kotelnik and Devon Alexander. So he was not an unbeatable Madonna at the time either. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think Terence Crawford fights to his ability. I don't think he's overrated. I think that the whole him pound for pound number one talk makes him overrated. Because he hasn't really shown that he's pound for pound the best fighter.
That's the thing, though, man. They have him number 2, and on Ring Magazine, pound for pound list, and over at ESPN they have number 1. And I'm thinking, based, he fought Postal. What was it now? 4 years ago.
Yep.
Well, he's not number 2 on Ring, is he? I thought Inoue was number 2 on Ring.
Oh well, maybe the updated list. Maybe you're right. But the fact remains, man, he's very high for a guy, like you said, whose career has been very Adrian Brown-esque. I mean, like I was saying in the beginning of the show, even Timothy Bradley has official wins over Pacquiao and Marquez. Okay, even if you want to discount the Pacquiao win, he's got a win over Juan Manuel Marquez, and he beat a ton of tough 140-pounders and 147-pounders. Terence Crawford did good work at 135, 140. Hey, he unified, but
BDA.
Against whom? Yeah.
BDA. I'll say this, and I do mean this to be honest. His undisputed run at 140 isn't as good as the unified runs of both Ramirez and Josh Taylor. Both of their unified wins are better than his undisputed.
Josh Taylor has far better wins at 140 than Crawford.
Postall isn't even his best win. He's got Prograis on his belt, bro.
Look, Josh. Hey, did you see what Josh Taylor was doing to Poster in the latter round, beating the brakes off him? Crawford ran from the guy all night. Do you know what I mean? So that's what was Crawford's best win? Probably is Postal, isn't it? Right, when you think about it.
Yeah, that's not Josh Taylor's best win.
Yeah, it is. It probably is I don't know though, because I think Progray's a better win than Postal.
By the way, hold on before we continue, because I forgot to.
I think. I'm gonna say I think Progray, Regis Progray is a far better fight than Postal.
Fellas, I forgot real quick, man, because I forgot to read a super chat from some people here. Tony Boswell just donated via the super chat. He says, much respect at BDA Boxing and the panel. Salute to the chat and smash that like button and show support. Yes, people, please smash that like button. And thank you for your contribution. And Kenshiro as well says, guys, what will Brook bring that Khan couldn't? Shout out to Kenshiro, and good question as well. And thank you again to Tony Boswell for his contribution.
A chin, power, timing, accuracy, and a straight right hand.
He's just a better boxer. Like this is clear. Anyone that has eyes.
I know the fucking the hammer and sickle brigade are in the chat, and the commie bastards that love the European fighters. They're in the chat saying that Postal is better than Regis Progray. Fucking hell, get out of here.
Shut up, your opinion doesn't matter.
Postal's best win is that, well, you know my feelings of Lucas Matisse, mate. He's got a white flag wave. He's got a white flag in his fucking shorts ready to wave, isn't he? So don't tell me about Matisse. Don't want to hear about that guy. Postal is nowhere. Regis Progray will do the same to Postal as fucking Josh Taylor did. Trust me on that.
And by the way, I don't want people to think we're bad-mouthing.
Postal's a good fighter. We're not bad-mouthing him. He's a very good fighter. Great
exactly,
boxer.
Man.
But
and we're not bad-mouthing. Sorry, real quick. Let me just say this: we're not bad-mouthing Crawford because we already said his skills, and we're gonna look at his skills in a couple of minutes. His skills are top-notch. We're talking about the fact that whether it's because of Bob Arum, Al Heyman at the PBC, whatever, he has not fought the best at welterweight. His career is lackluster. It's been so for the past 3 years, and the reason why we're angry is because we know the ability he has, and he's been wasting it away. The guy's gonna be 34 next year. I mean, come on. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Okay. Listen, while we're at this here, I think it's about as good a time as any to transition over to a couple of clipperoos of each fighter, just to show you that we think it's going to be an interesting fight. All right. So guys, if you could, at the Discord here, let me share the screen here.
Give me 1 minute. I'm going to get onto my laptop.
Yes, please do so, man. That way, it's going to be easier that way. All right, fellas, you tell me if you can see the PowerPoint here that I'm putting up. All right. And meanwhile, let me just get a couple of things ready. Can you see the Discord there?
Yeah.
I mean the Discord, the PowerPoint. Yeah. All right. Fantastic. All right. Because I think it's going to be an interesting fight, man, for sure. The thing is, there's a couple of things that could be exciting, that could make this fight exciting. So let's get to it here. Hold on a second. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to wait for Mark to get here. Meanwhile, let's take I think we got another phone call here. Oh, boy. I think it's an encore. Go ahead, Kevin. What's on your mind, man?
Did you hear what Vinny Paziano said?
Vinny Paciencia, you mean?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, if Wilder wants to beat Fury, he's got to do what Fury does. He's got to take steroids.
Oh.
Then he said, I don't care what anybody says. I said it. You know
yeah,
what?
You're cornball for saying it.
Vinny Paziano, he's just another loudmouth Italian. That's what it is. We know of another loudmouth Italian in my neck of the woods.
All right, calm down, Travis.
Yeah, calm down,
Travis.
By the way, listen,
I bet Travis drives around in a truck with a Confederate flag on the fucking bonnet. He's one of them guys, isn't he?
Who the hell is Travis?
You're Travis, isn't you?
No,
I thought that was a Travis.
Kevin.
No, but I mean,
Travis
I thought that was
with a Confederate flag on the fucking bonnet.
Yeah, Travis. Yeah.
Get out of here,
You know what?
Travis.
I was listening to this show, and there's the same show that these people, they like to cry about racism, but they're talking about Tyson Fury being a gypsy, and his people, they're talking about they come from carnivals. They're carnival people. They do it with the swords. They stick the swords down their throats. They know magic tricks. So you're saying people that come from that type of work doesn't know how to cheat? They wouldn't know how to cheat. It's just imagine.
Oh man.
I was watching it. They're never gonna let this one go, man.
No, they won't.
The biggest fight. I'm telling
I
you
love
what,
it.
they'll never let this one down because this was such a big fight, such a cultural impact. It was everything, and they'll be talking about this fight for the next 10 years. Oh, he's on steroids. Oh, he's a gypsy. He cheated. Those gypsies, they know how to cheat and this and that. It's gonna be the only thing that's gonna stop him is Fury sues him.
Was the caller
You gotta
pretending to be
sue him.
someone else at first?
No.
I'm confused. Was the caller pretending to be someone else? One minute he's calling Fury a cheat. now
Stu,
he's-
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about, Stu. This has always been Kevin.
You need
Like, if you
another old man nap. It's Kevin from Chicago.
Oh, whoa, apology, man. Apology, man, coming in with the burns, man. What's
A
up?
little talk with Jesus, nothing better than do.
All right, listen, Kevin, we got to move on. You're creeping me out, but thank you for calling, and catch you in the next one, all right, man? There we go. And by the way, I like how the people we had, because listen, I didn't make fun of Wilder. I made fun more or less his fans. And then people tried to get back at us when Lomachenko lost. Let me tell you something. I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican-Canadian. You think I give a fuck about the Ukraine?
The Ukraine.
You can't compare.
You know what the
Also,
Ukraine
not
is? It's a sitting duck. The Ukraine is
You can't
weak.
compare the way.
Did you know?
You can't compare
fucking, BDA
Lomachenko's loss to Lopez in the same fashion that Wilder got destroyed by
Oh yeah, said no one on this planet with a brain cell.
That's
come on, man. I mean, that one was
one was
a
never
total
in the
destruction.
fight. The other one was.
Exactly. One was a total destruction. The other one, look, I can't defend Lomachenko's performance. I thought it was a terrible.
Yeah, but at least he won rounds and he didn't.
Yeah,
Get
he
knocked
did.
out.
No, look, that fight was close, but it was like he left it too late. He won the latter rounds of the fight. Of course he did. And if that was a 15-round fight, I think he would have got the job done. But it's not 15 rounds; it's 12. We can't keep saying ifs and buts.
All right,
Look, there's rumor about the injury. There's rumor about the injury, but we can't really bring that to it. Was a terrible.
No Lomachenko talk, man. No Lomachenko talk for today. All right, let's move on from that.
I recognised brought him up, so I thought I'd give you my 2 cents on it.
Sorry, he's blaming it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just you can't compare the two. One where a guy's just gets battered from pillar to post. The other one where a guy gets his tactics wrong. So that's my point.
Hey, by the way, I just checked the list here. We got more calls. So before we get down to this, and we got Jimmy on the line as well. So we're gonna have to move up to this quickly. Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds here. Let's go to 334. You're on the air. 334. You're on the air.
What's going on? It's Tony's review.
Oh, Tony, how you doing, man? Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, doing good. So, to comment on Lomachenko, even though you said you wanted to move on, I just
You're killing me over here.
No, hold on. Let me finish. If it had been 15 rounds, he would have got knocked the fuck out because in that 12th round, he was looking really bad against Teofimo Lopez. But about this fight right here with Kell Brook, I will say that if the vintage Kell Brook can show up, he will give Crawford a run for his money, but that's a big if. When he fought Earl Spence Jr., he looked very bad on the scale. When he fought him, he was void of power, and Kell Brook's known to have hard punches. And he wasn't doing anything to Earl Spence, which shows you that he was weight drained. He hasn't been a welterweight for like 3 years. So the last time he really looked good was before he went up to fight for G. I don't see it being competitive.
Yeah, but the caller. The problem is he couldn't make weight because he wasn't living the life. When you go out living the lifestyle he does, and I'm hearing through the grapevine that Kell Brook liked a bit of cocaine as well.
Oh.
Yeah, he liked his cocaine, he liked his beer. And like I said, when you don't live the life, it starts to tell your body. It's all right when you're young. Like Errol Spence will find this out because he doesn't live the life either. It's all right when you're young, but once you start getting to your 30s, that's when it starts to take its toll on you. and that's when it starts to show. And Tank Davis will find that out himself. And I think with Kell, like I said, this COVID has been a blessing in disguise because he's been able to get away from that world and get stuck into his training, his boxing, and apparently he's been in shape all year round, and he's holding around the weight as it is. So look, you got to take everything into account. Yes, Kell Brook has been struggling at the weight. Yes, he hasn't been a welterweight for 3 years, but has he been in this sort of mindset for a while? No, he hasn't. Has he been in this shape? No. So look, like you said, mate, if he comes on his game, he's going to be a hell of a fight for Crawford. I'm going by the fact that he will do. I'm not saying that he can beat Terence Crawford. I'm not saying, but I'm hoping he can. I'm going with my heart.
Tony.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Here's my thing about this fight. Okay, when Kell Brook beat Sean Porter, and he did it impressively because he knocked him on the cabinet. I think he's one of only 2 people to do it. I think Broner was the only other person to knock down Porter, if I remember correctly. But anyway, when he won that title from Porter, they were talking about he was too big for welterweight back then. What you learn is the older you get, the harder it is to stay light. So the older you get, your metabolism slows down and it gets harder and harder. I don't give a fuck what type of lifestyle you're living. Age is a real thing, and eventually it's going to catch up.
And I don't give a fuck what you have to say.
Hold on. Stu, let him.
No,
please
because
let
that's
him
how it
finish.
works. I mean, he's been there. No, but he's saying that my opinion didn't mean anything. When that's facts, that is fucking facts. I just told him. And what he's going to start. Go ahead, Caller.
It's not. It's not even reasonable to believe that, because when he fought Triple G, he was ripped to the bone at 160 pounds.
Oh, so what? So what? Are you one of these guys that pick fights? Do you predict fights on 6-packs?
This dude just gonna talk. That's all he does is talk, but he doesn't listen.
Well, listen. Tony's point is that Kell Brook is probably not. He's going to be way drained. Yeah, Tony. Just real quick, then. So you expect Kell Brook to be drained for this fight, just like he was for the Spence Jr. fight?
Yes, I believe that. Judging out how big he is, how much muscle he retains, we're not talking about this as a Devin Haney shaped guy.
Do you know Errol Spence is bigger than Kell Brook?
Kell Brook is
Errol Spence is bigger than Kell Brook, man. I know what he's talking about.
The more muscle you carry, the harder it is to lose weight. And I cannot see him at 147 being able to lose weight like he needs to lose and be able to be efficient. I just can't. Now, if it was at like 152, 154, where this fight should have been, I would put my money on Kell Brook beating Terence Crawford. But at 147, I just don't think he's going to have enough energy due to the weight loss to be efficient. I can't.
Yeah, but the thing is, I agree, Caller. Like I said, you've got a right to think like that. Most of us are thinking like that. But you can't just forget the idea that Kell Brook could be in good shape. Well, unless you're with Kell Brook every day of the fucking week, looking at his diet, watching on the scales, you don't know what he's weighing in. None of us do. But what I've seen he's looking trim. I mean, I'm hearing from people in the camp, not him, people in his camp, that he's looking really good. And look, the talent's already there. It's not like you got to do much with this kid and work on stuff like Wilder, where he has to go back to the drawing board straight away and start from fresh, where Kell Brook's already got the tools there. He's just got to tweak up on the fitness and the weight. And look, Errol Spence is bigger than Kell Brook. Errol Spence is a massive guy, but yeah, he seems to do all right getting to the weight. No one ever mentions about him being weight drained when he's been drained on the scales a few times now. So look, we'll see how it goes. You can't look at Golovkin fight and predict a Terence Crawford fight and the Golovkin fight because they're 2 different animals altogether. So,
but look, I do agree with.
But what I'm saying is, when Kell Brook weighed in to fight Golovkin, he looked like that was a natural weight. He no longer looked like he was a welterweight. He filled out at 160 like you would expect a 160 fighter to look.
That's rubbish.
Tells you.
Kell Brook's
Kell Brook's
a small 154. Kell Brook is too small for 154. Oh, he won't have finished. They don't need finish, do they?
He was very
just come on and no dialogue with these guys. No dialogue.
You're supposed to believe that a guy who hasn't fought at welterweight for 3 years, who could barely make weight when he beat Sean Porter, which was said by his head coach, is just magically overnight going to be able to make weight comfortably. I don't believe it.
Who am I talking to? Fucking Tony the Weight Watcher.
No, but hold on. Stu. He brings up. Tony does bring up a valid point, man.
He does bring up
Tony. Hold on, fellas. Yeah.
That's a big difference right there. So, yes, I know what losing weight can do to your strength, and I know how quickly it can sap you, especially when you're like Kell Brook and you have a lot of power. Then when you show up to fight, all your power is gone.
Okay, Tony, point taken. Yeah, Stu, I showed a picture earlier of Kell Brook. The guy's got massive arms, and he's cut to the bone. Like, you got to wonder that when it comes to losing weight for fight night, or for the weigh-in, he's going to be losing a lot of water weight, and that's when it starts getting dangerous.
This is what my point is. He hasn't got to lose all that weight again like he did before because he's already hovering around the weight. This is my point. When you fucking take it off too quickly and rush it, that's what Ricky Hatton used to do. He had to lose 25 pounds, and so most of his camp would be losing weight. This guy's already in around that shape because he's living the life for the whole year, and that's what you got to do as a fight. When you live like that, that's why. What do you think Floyd Mayweather could stay at welterweight for all them years for? Because he fucking lived a life.
I got a couple of theories on that.
If he started going out like Kell Brook, he would be at fucking middleweight as well. Look, and no way did Kell Brook look at middleweight in there against Golovkin. Golovkin looked like a monster in there compared to him. Kell Brook is a bit too small for 154 even, really.
Yeah.
His attributes don't come into play as much with straight punches. But that's why he has to go into 147 and try to shoot.
Point taken, Stu. Yeah, but that's a big if then. If he's been hovering at
all lips as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't. Now that you say that, if he has been hovering at 147, then perhaps he's going to be able to sustain a pace as the fight goes along. Listen, Tony, we gotta go. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. Floyd Mayweather's a horrible example because he came up 5 weight divisions to be a welterweight, and Floyd Mayweather, whether he was in perfect shape or not, could only get up to about 154 pounds according to his dad at his biggest, if he did have a lazy week. So they're not even comparable guys. When you got a guy like Kell Brook who can walk around at easily 170, and then he's trying to get down to 170. It's just, I'm not, like you said, you got to move on. I'm not going to argue, but the bottom line is he's going to lose on the scale. This isn't his weight class. He's too big, and I don't see how he's going to have enough power to even affect Terence Crawford at 147 pounds being that he's muscled out. That's all I really got to say about it.
All right. Thank you for calling in, Tony, and we'll catch you in the next one, and enjoy the fight.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, take it easy, man. All right, fellas, we suddenly got an influx of phone calls here. Let's see what they got to say. 447, you're on the air. 447.
Hello?
Yes, 447, you're on the air.
Hello?
You're on the air, 447.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. Is this Kenshiro?
It's Kenshiro. How you doing?
Oh, good to have you on board, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I've been listening to obviously what you guys are saying about the weight aspect, and you know, I think what Stu said was correct in the sense of if he was jumping, you know, fluctuating really badly, you know, like Roberto Duran against Sugar Ray Leonard for the second fight, dropping, trying to lose as much weight as possible. Yes, I can understand the weight and playing a massive factor in terms of energy drain, but if he's been, well, if Stu is correct about hovering around that weight, it shouldn't be that bad. He's not cutting weight in the last minute. He's actually preparing himself correctly. And if there's a weight clause, which dehydration clause, I'm surprised, you know, it might be Kell's night, you know, to put Terence away for the first 7 rounds. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I think, in my opinion, he's probably more amped up for this fight because this is probably more important than Spence and Triple G because he knows this could be his last chance saloon.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Now, who are you picking for this fight, though?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I said to you guys like 4 to 6 months ago, I remember, so I got laughed at, but I said that time, if Brook fights Crawford, I'll back Brook. Just that, you know, you never know. Because I remember I said to Stu, I said, hey, do you think Brook can beat Charlo? And Stu said, look, just calm down, man. Let him try to fight Crawford first and beat him first. So I'm going for Brook.
Yo, what's up, fam?
Hey, hold on. Oh shit! Please, I'm gonna mute you there because I see, I hear some echo there. Please mute your mic, D. Jefferson. We got him on. All right, Kenshiro, so you were saying, who did you pick? You said, sorry, I didn't hear that.
That's all, Brooke. I mean, I'm backing Brooke. It's more of a heart/gut instinct and hoping. But I think if Brooke puts everything into it, I think he's got a good chance. I mean, for some reason, and I might be wrong, unless Crawford is playing possum, he seems to be overlooking Brooke. Because I don't know if you know, he said, I've got 4 good fights I want to fight, and Brooke's not one of them. It seems to be Crawford just overlooking him. I mean, I remember Crawford's sister was cussing of Brooke, was it last year or something? So all this stuff is going to be in Brooke's mind, knowing that he probably doesn't like being told, I told you so. So he knows he's going to have the correct game plan and do everything as right as possible on the night.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, hopefully it's as great a fight and it borders on your prediction so that it's competitive, but it remains to be seen, man. It will remain to be seen. Anyway, Kenshiro, thank you for calling in, man. We'll catch you on the next one.
No, that's not. Listen, as I said, if Brooke loses, Brooke loses. But as long as he tries to give it the best he can. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. I'm off to bed now, guys. It's about nearly midnight here, so I'll catch you guys later on.
Thank you for your call, Kenshiro. Man. Go to sleep, man.
Mr. BDA.
Yes, Gonzalo.
Just real quick, another thing that I'm really interested in how this fight plays out, because if Kell Brook punches on the fly and he still gets beaten down, but he puts hands on Terence Crawford, I'm interested to see that, because Manny Pacquiao will be a good fight to watch in the future, because I think they have a little bit of a similarity.
Yeah, we'll see,
Kell Brook and Manny Pacquiao.
We'll see if Pacquiao still has something, if he even still wants to fight, or if he can't fight right now with this whole COVID thing. 719, you're on the air. 719.
Yeah, man, I definitely think Kell Brook got a chance in this fight. I mean, let's look at the reality of the situation. Terence Crawford is getting all this praise for winning this belt and winning that belt, but this guy with no belt that he about to fight, Kell Brook, is about to be the best guy on his resume. So what does all of that winning belt shit mean at the end of the day? Nothing, especially if he get knocked out by this guy, Kell Brook. I mean, I gotta go with Brook, man. Crawford is practically a white guy, man. He from Nebraska.
Wait, what?
What? He's the darkest white guy I've ever seen, man. Fucking, that's one suntan he's got.
I'm not surprised that Brotherhood would say something like that. He's just a hating ass dude. That's all.
Right, hold on. Let him finish his point. Let him finish his point. He might have a point. Go ahead, Brotherhood. Continue your point, please.
There's no black people in Nebraska. This man is friends with Warren Buffett, man. He's practically... He might as well do like Sammy Sosa did and just paint his skin or whatever.
Brotherhood, go to his neighborhood and say that.
They'll beat the shit out of him, and they'll
say that to his mother. Just say that to his mother.
You
see what happens.
You see,
I mean, look, is it really? Are we really getting to the stage where we've got other black guys questioning the blackness of another man?
First of all, Terence Crawford is darker skinned. More than likely, he's darker skinned than fucking Brotherhood is.
I'll tell you what. If anything, your boy Errol looks like he's got a bit of them European genes in him.
Yeah, exactly. He looks more like
man. Stop it. Tyson Fury might be more blacker than Crawford, man. At this point,
yeah, you would.
He's from Nebraska, man. Come on.
He's a country boy.
He's from Omaha. You know, that's like they have a big population over there. A big black population over there.
Black city, and that fucking kid's no joke, man. Kid grew up hard.
Yeah, I mean,
overhand in the chat says Euro spends.
Euro spends.
European spends.
Okay, listen, we got to move on from the phone calls, but Brotherhood, who are you? Which round are you picking Brook to beat Crawford in?
Well, if I pick the round, that would mean I'm guessing it to be a knockout, so I'm not going to do that. I think it's going to be. I actually think it's going to be a robbery for Crawford, since he the fighter that's hosting the fight. It's going to be on Top Rank. It's going to be a robbery, but everybody going to know that Kell Brook really won that fight. It's going to be one of them type of fights.
All right. So, well, there you have
it.
You
saying
if Crawford wins decisively, will you credit him?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
He might
All
get
right,
his
we're
way.
gonna hold. That's good. Well, we're gonna hold you to that.
All right, listen.
Hey, BDA.
Well, hold on, please. We got to move on. Brotherhood, thank you for calling in, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, man?
All right.
Stay black. Stay black, bro.
All right, let's go to... We got a lot of phone calls, fellas. 519, you're on the air. 519. What's on your mind?
Fellas, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fellas, do you know who this is?
I don't know, man.
Slugger Sam.
Slugger Sam. Slugger Sam.
How come you sound different, man?
Nesta Gibbs.
I don't know.
Sounds like he got the shit beat out of him for talking shit.
In the dungeon.
He got humbled by somebody.
Yeah, Slugger Sam, it sounds like maybe your father laid a beating on you finally. Set you straight.
Somebody beat you up today.
Is that what happened?
Somebody took the hair out of him.
No, but listen.
Put them in the gut.
Listen, I want to actually legit answer the question. What is it you have about Crawford and Brook? What's the question?
Well, there's just a general fight, man. The analysis of the fight. Who's going to win? How's it going to go down?
Oh, who do I think is going to win? I'll be honest. I think it's going to go 12 rounds, and I think I don't know. It just seems like the obvious thing that Crawford will get a unanimous decision. 12 rounds.
Crawford will get an unanimous decision. All right, because most people are going with the stoppage.
That could happen, man.
Yeah, that could happen. Well, yeah, man. I mean, listen, it's Brook is not a small welterweight like we were saying. He's a big guy. He's a big dude, and he's got skills. But what percentage of chance, Slugger, do you give Brook of winning this fight?
Wait, say it again.
What's the percentage of victory?
My mic is...
Your what?
No, I was saying, sorry, my headphone's messed up. You said percentage of victory for who?
For Brook. What are his chances here in percentages? 60-40, 50-50, 65-35? You let me know.
I maybe I'd say like 30-70. Like he's got a chance. I mean, you know what? I was watching the press conference where Brook was saying that everybody says this is an easy fight for Crawford, which I don't believe that at all. I think Brook is here to fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean he definitely, to me, like what I liked about him is the fact he stepped up and fought Triple G. You know, I mean even from what I understood, even Andre Ward was running away from Triple G. So the fact he came up and fought him at middleweight, you know, I give him a lot of respect. And I don't think he's an easy guy, man. I think truthfully, I think he could even beat Crawford, but I just, from the looks of it, I think Crawford's going to win. But I think it's 30-70 to answer your question. 30-70. All right, listen, Slugger, we're going to take a look at the evidence in a little while, so thank you for calling in and giving us your prediction, and enjoy the fight. All right, man? You guys, by the way, before I leave, is this Bucho or BDA? This is Mr. BDA, man. You should know. BDA. So, sorry, no, you know, I can never get you guys' accent, right? But I was going to say, do you guys do any bets? If you guys do bets, I'll put in on it. Well, I used to be a gambling addict, so I don't gamble anymore. But from what I hear, these are the 14-1 odds. Brook is a 14-1 underdog.
Never mind that. I
I
believe it
might
would
just
be
bet
legal.
for him, man. I might get lucky, but yeah, I'll let you guys get going. I appreciate you letting me on the show, fellas. Absolutely. Take it easy, Slugger. Have a good one. All right, real quick, let's go to 510. 510, you're on the air. 510.
Hello, guys. This is Ross Clyde. How is everyone doing this evening? Good
Ross,
evening.
Damn, it's been a while, Ross Clyde. What's going on?
Hello, Stu. Hello, Gonzalo. Hello, BDA.
An apology, and Jimmy, and DJ.
Damn, man.
And Mark.
What I do to you?
Mark is here,
no
too.
more?
I like Jimmy. Jimmy's
been a while,
Jimmy's
man.
favorite fighter is Keller. I like Jimmy. Jimmy's great.
Hey, if you don't like, if anybody out there dislikes Jimmy, there's something wrong with him. But anyway, Rasclat, what's on your mind, man?
And also, he likes Mickey Ward. Mickey Ward is the three of the best fights I've ever seen with him and other guys.
That's true. That's true, man.
Thank you, brother.
Listen, we're talking about Brook, Crawford. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Let me say my piece, and without anyone interrupting me, please. I'd like to say my piece. First of all, if this fight was pre-Triple G, Kell Brook would beat Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Number two, it's going to be very difficult for Brook to beat Crawford only because he has two permanent damaged eye sockets on the left and the right side. And if anyone out there who's boxed before, and I know you guys boxed before, and when you have two eye sockets, that damage the same fighter. I don't care who you are. You're not the same fighter. Number three, he is having trouble making weight. There is a possibility that he can be drained. That's not a secret. Number four, Terence Crawford is probably at the best he is right now. And I don't see Kell Brook beating him only because of those circumstances. Like I said, if this was Brook before Triple G, he beats Crawford. And remember, guys, Brook beat the best version of Sean Porter. By the time Errol Spence got to Sean Porter, he's already a worn down horse. Do you guys agree with me or not?
Okay, who wants anybody? Whoever goes first goes first. Who wants to reply to that?
Well, I will, BDA.
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Let me say something. Yes, when you break a bone, yes, it's weaker, but he's allowed some time for that to heal. And when a bone heals correctly, it actually welds harder than it used to. So I'm saying, yeah, his face was broken and it was vulnerable before, but with time, that bone heals and it builds calcium deposits, and it is even stronger if you give it time and it's healed than it was before. That's just one thing that I have to mention about that.
Hey, okay,
so do you guys remember the great Puerto Rican fighter Wilfredo Gomez? Does anybody remember him?
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
Okay, he fought, in my opinion, the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, Salvador Sanchez. Am I correct?
I disagree with you on that one, but yeah, he did fight.
You have a good argument.
But I'm saying they fought.
Yes, they did fight. Yeah.
Okay. After that fight, Wilfredo Gomez was never the same. Do you guys know why?
He liked talking too much.
He broke his
talking
face.
too much. Oh, the face? Well, yeah, the face too.
He broke his face and had to put a plate in his eye socket. And
he
was
true.
never the same fighter after that.
All right. Well, listen,
He
Rascal.
lost, something to
go ahead, recognize.
Roscott's point. To Roscott's point, look, Wilfredo Gomez went on to do still good things after that. But if you look at the biggest, he fought Azuma Nelson, got knocked out by Azuma Nelson. He did good, but I think there is some truth to. I've heard rumors like he was not the same after that. Like he mentally also, he wasn't the same mentally after getting his face broken and his eye socket fucking ruined.
Well, you know what, man? I don't know what it's like to fight after a broken eye socket because my defense is impeccable, so it's never happened to me. But listen, Rascal, yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I was going to say a lot has to do, and I didn't mean to jump in earlier like that. That kid just said something silly, the other dude. But a lot of it has to do with the individual fighter. You know what I mean? It's the dog in the fight. You know what I mean? To their detriment, too, I might add. I mean, you take Mickey, he had his eye socket broken. And he came back just as like he actually fought the last 4 rounds with his eye socket fractured.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, and his eardrum ruptured. All these things that kids today would quit, and he was doing it for a party house down the summer. At a summer lake, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't doing it for chump change too. He just liked to fight. So it depends on the fighter. Then you got other guys who are just great athletes. They happen to be good at boxing, but at heart they're just not true. Like they're not really, no matter what they say, willing to let their face get caved in. They realize like, fuck this, dude. I want to see. And then you got guys like Mick, you just don't care. I'll lose an eye. I'm just not quitting.
Yeah.
That's a good
The
point.
thing is though, it's them sort of fighters like Mickey that have to be busy. They have to be constantly busy. Natural talents can be out of the ring for years. Tyson Fury proved it. That's a natural talent. He come back, fucking well. Look at the size he was. He come back with no sort of shape whatsoever, and did a a job on Wilder for me. I got robbed on the cards, but he did a job. Natural talents can do that. Like Mayweather used to go 2 years out of a ring, come back and beat some world champion. You know, I'm not saying Kell Brook's on that level, but natural talents can it doesn't affect them as much. All right, it takes them a little while to get their timing right and stuff, but once they get that sorted, then you know it's like driving. You get back in the car from years not driving. It's just like you never fucking stop driving, and it just comes back to you straight away. And that's what the natural talented fighters do. But Terence Crawford's a real problem, isn't he? Of course, he's a problem for anyone. So Kell's got his work cut out. But I just don't like the way Kell's been given no chance. And every time someone says he's going to get knocked the fuck out, the reason is because he ain't going to make the weight. And I think we just forget about the weight and just go by the boxing ability right now and styles and what Kell can do to exploit Terence's weaknesses. And I think you can do a few things in there. I've seen a few things that Kell can do. And Terence is in for a hard night himself. May the best man win.
Well, listen.
Yo, Jimmy. I know. I'm not saying that he's a better man now for it. But don't you agree? Wouldn't you agree that when the bone breaks, it heals back harder? I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I don't know if he heard you either, man.
Listen, you can tell him that.
Oh no, I can hear you, brother. I'm sorry, I had the mute on. But yes, right along the crack where it fractured, yes, the calcium deposit. It's like a weld, like a steel weld. If the weld is done right, it's going to break anywhere but that at the weld. You know what I mean? Excuse me, but it's still. It takes. Some experts will say it loosens and weakens. It takes nutrients from the surrounding area, what makes them more apt. Which is strange that it broke in the other eye socket. Some people try to make a connection there. I just think, I don't know, maybe he had a vitamin D deficiency. I don't know what if he was just he has thin bone plates.
He's a bitch.
But I wanted to say too about Kell Brook. The reason why when everybody saw him at 160, he looked fucking huge. Because the same reason I tweeted before, if there was somebody was to say, dude, grab a fighter, you want to turn into a bodybuilder. Without a doubt, I'd grab Kell Brook. Tiny joints. He's got tiny joints and round muscle bellies. So he's got if he had a little bit width more in his back, if he had like a Tiafimo width in his back, dude, that kid could fucking. I'm telling you, like compete because he's got round. So it's one of those dudes you see him in a nightclub, he'll have a sweatshirt on, but you see him on the beach, you're like, wow, that dude's fucking huge because it's his round muscle belly. So it's perception. You know what I mean? They look so much bigger. Then when they got in the ring, all of a sudden, he didn't look as huge when he was standing next to Triple G. You know what I'm saying?
What I mean, that guy to say that Kell Brook looked like a natural middleweight in there. I mean, he just doesn't understand what a natural weight is in a division because Kell Brook's nowhere near a middleweight, and it proved that night. Look, I think too many people are bringing this weight issue into it. I mean, look, any other time I'd agree with them, but because this guy's been constantly in the gym for a year now, keeping in shape. He's been off that life. It was the life that was catching up to him. But I think, I just think it's going to be a fitter Kell Brook. I think he's going to have plenty in the tank. It's whether his match fitness, should we say, or his sharpness, his timing is right. I mean, it's going to be hard for him. But like I said, the natural talents usually manage to do okay when they come back from a couple of years out. So let's see, innit? But look, he's got a big task ahead of him.
Hey, Stu, you're from England. Is Kell Brook also a switch hitter like Terence Crawford? I mean, no pun intended.
No. Kell Brook is an orthodox style, but he's definitely not a switch hitter. But the thing is with Kell Brook, he doesn't like pressure because he just doesn't have much of an inside game. He's just holding in there. That's what he did to Sean Porter. That's why Sean Porter can get to him because he's so strong with them big arms he's got. He just ties you up and you can't. And that's what he does. I think where Errol was fucking working in the inside and he couldn't cope with that. I think when the fight was at range, Kell Brook was winning the fight. It's when Errol stepped inside a little bit and started letting his hands go. Kell was struggling then. So look, he's got It's a nice fluent style, but it's a lot of it's basic stuff, if you get what I'm saying.
Hey, Mark, were you going to say something too?
Yeah, I was going to ask Jimmy a question. Like, I heard some rumors about Kell Brook when he's, like, cutting to make weight. I've heard rumors about Winstrol. Could that explain, the idea of his bones being more dry?
Well, yes, but see, the Winnie V, it's a Winnie V is a anabolic steroid. It's actually a very easy steroid to catch in a test. Very easy because it's the energenic steroids that are basically mimic. Those are hard to hide, but those are just like you would take Anadrol, things like that. That's just aggression
He's
and
only had
strength.
2 drug tests. He's only had 2 drug tests.
Yeah, you can mask it if you know what you're doing. You could mask it. Does he have any? I haven't seen his abdomen. Does anybody see any injection marks? Any like lumps? Because Winnie V also is Winnie V is a water-based steroid, and it does leave marks. So it depends on where he's shooting it. There's a lot of different ways to check for it, but yeah, Winnie V would definitely help cut. That's a cutting drug you would use to cut.
But I'm talking about the idea of his bone fragility.
Oh yes, if prolonged steroid use, absolutely creates bone brittle.
And that might explain the eye sockets in the other place being like fractured, like not just Winnie, but prolonged steroid use, just because he was with Dominic Ingle for like 8 years. And it's not really a joke, the idea of Ingle's Pringles. We all know that Dominic Ingle promotes steroid use. He complained about the idea of Xilopren not being allowed to be used outside of competition. He complained about it.
You guys, the UK, have access to much cleaner, less. I don't know how it is, I can't speak in the last 10, 15 years, but 90s through the early 2000s, or late 80s through the early 2000s, without a doubt, UK was where it was at for Europe, UK and Germany. You guys always had the best because it all came in from India and whatnot. But yeah, no counterfeits. So I don't know who he's connected with out there, but
he connected with somebody.
Because he's definitely.
I'm hoping Kell goes in there as fit as he can be, and we have a great fight. That's all I'm hoping for. I just don't want to see Kell go in there and, like these guys said, be weight drained and just get overwhelmed in a few rounds, a one-sided beatdown, shall I say? It's going to be disheartening for me because I've been a Kell Brook fan from day one. I mean, I've got a lot of stick on the Boxing Voice for it. I mean, I used to get loads of fucking stick for defending him because I see talent in this guy, but his career has just been a mess from start to finish. I think it's probably Eddie Hearn has done a terrible job with Kell Brook. I keep hearing.
Can I say something, Stu?
Yeah,
I saw talent in Kell Brook a few years ago, but he's not the same guy. Even at 154, I mean, earlier you brought up Zarafa, yeah? He didn't have an easy night with Zarafa. He lost a few rounds in that fight. He just hasn't looked the same guy. He just hasn't.
Yep.
And at 154, he's not small. He's not small.
Sorry?
He's not a small 150 pounder, 154 pounder.
He is. Trust me. No, he is. I'm not on about his frame. I'm on about his height and his reach. He would struggle in that division. Them guys are big guys, man.
Only against the elite top guys who are.
Yeah, but that's the only fight he's going to want, isn't he? What's the point fighting someone that's not one of them?
No, what I'm saying is he's the average size 154 pounder. He's the same size as J-Rock.
He's a bit like Liam Smith. He's like, he can make 154 comfortably, but he's just not big enough when he's in there with the Munguias and stuff like that. And
I get that, but let's take this for example, right? Canelo is smaller than Jarrah Hurt.
Yeah, but Canelo's built like a fucking American bully, isn't he, man? Like fucking one of them dogs, an American bully. He's just built like a fucking.
Well, Jarrah Hurt
He's got a different frame. Canelo's really top heavy as well. Canelo's got big shoulders. He's got.
Mark is right though, but Jarrah Hurt fights at 154, and he's clearly a bigger guy than Canelo is.
I mean, how Jared Hurd makes 154, I'll never know. I just don't.
Tony Harrison has longer dimensions and larger dimensions than Jamal Charlo at 160. These guys at 154 are massive. They're bigger than the middleweights, right?
They are.
Outside of J-Rock, who's the same size as Kell. Right, but when you go down the scale to the, I'm not talking about him playing his trade there. I'm saying though he's a really big 147, average size 154. Kell's huge.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, he's had 30 odd fights at welterweight, so he could obviously make the weight. Do you know what I mean? So look, it's just about. I get what you're saying, Mark, but anyone that knows Kell Brook will know that the way he lived his life out of the ring was just. the wrong way to go about it. You're never gonna make weight comfortably when you're living like he did.
Well, Stu, can I say one thing, dude, about the kid, man? And I just say, as an American, win, lose, or draw, man, my hat goes out to the kid. He's never ducked the fucking tough fights. Triple G, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, now Crawford. My hat's off to the kid, especially in today's political climate in boxing. This kid's never fucking ducked a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? So my props to that.
Yeah, Brits don't duck. British fighters don't duck anyone.
Here we go.
Fight anyone. Well, it's true, isn't it? Look, we'll fight anyone, man. Like how many welterweights? Hey, look, how many welterweights from America wanted to step up and fight fucking Golovkin? None of them.
I wanted to. I'm all American, baby. Now listen. Now, point taken, Stu. You're right. I mean, at least with Kell Brook, also, like Jimmy said, I mean, he went up to 160 to fight Golovkin. Didn't have to do that. By the way, we got D on the line as well, on the Discord, I should say. D, just to let you know, I know you're there. I'm going to get to you in a couple of seconds. Hi, good. Thank you for being on, by the way. But before we do, let's go to the last call because we haven't even gotten to the clips, man. And we're already at the 2-hour mark. So we're going to have to move to them quick, all right? But before we do that, last call for the moment, 585. You're on the air, 585.
Oh, please.
585.
How you doing, Mr. Boutro?
Oh, boy.
Yes, speak.
This is Vince.
This is BDA, by the way. Vinny, come on, man. How many times are you going to get me confused with Bucho, man?
Mr. BDA.
I'm sorry,
That's right, Mr. BDA.
You and Bucho are pretty much brothers. Sound exactly alike.
No, we don't. Stop saying that. That's fake news. Anyway, what's on your mind, Vinny?
Yes, Mr. BDA. Speaking of fake news, the rumor out there, a welder is a bum is not true. Just look at Mr. Triple L, and that's the definition of a mediocre fighter.
All right, you had to get a little digging at Triple G. All right, listen, we got to get to the fucking analysis, man. So get to the Brook fight, please, man. Come on.
For sure, Mr. VDA. A Terence Bud Crawford versus a Kell Brook.
Kell Brook.
I definitely feel like Crawford is levels above Mr. Kell Brook, but I do believe Kell Brook is a little bit better step up than Amir King Khan. But I do expect a late stoppage from Mr. Bud Crawford, and hopefully my winning streak continues. 2020 has been absolutely a blast for me, guys. Thank you.
All right, Vinny. Thank you for calling in, man. We'll catch you in the next one because
we got to move Pepsi.
And by the way, recognize before he goes, tell him goodbye for us, please.
Go fuck yourself. Bye.
Oh, no, wait a minute. All right, Vinny.
I mean, bye. Yeah.
Thank you for your call, Vinny. Catch you in the next one, man.
Guys. Yeah, no problem.
Enjoy the fight. All right, fellas. We got to move on here. All right, a couple of ground rules for the clips we're gonna see. We got to talk about the clips and nothing else. Let's not start talking about Canelo, Caleb Plant, or whatever. And if we're looking at the strong points of a guy, wait until we get to the portion where we actually get to shit on them, because we are gonna get to shit on them. So don't get too Yay! And by the way, don't forget, shout out to Chad Collins who donated the super chat a while back. I forgot to read it. He says, "Good afternoon, ladies and gents. I got Crawford by KO in the 7th. I think Brook will have his moments, but he gets KO'd." All right, shout out to Chad Collins for his contribution. Always appreciated, man.
The Crawford KO seems to be the pick that everyone's fancying. But yeah, look. If you're thinking with your head, then you've got to go with that, and you've got to go with the Crawford by a KO. But look, something's just telling me that this is going to be a lot closer.
Well, listen, let's take a look at the clips here. Everybody, please, on the Discord, click on the... Oh, I'm no longer sharing it. Oh, yeah, I'm sharing it. Yeah, there you go. Please confirm if you can see it, guys.
I can see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I hear you,
Roger
Mark.
that. Roger that.
All right, D, apology. Stu, Jimmy, can you guys see the screen I'm sharing?
I'm putting it on the TV.
This is Kell Brook Spence, right? You're showing now.
Yeah, I'm showing a clip of those guys.
Yeah.
D, can you see it, D? All right, we'll get confirmation later. All right, fellas, and again, we'll go through this quick if there's nothing much to see, but this is just to show you guys that that this is going to be a battle of the lead hands. Kell Brook is a standard boxer puncher, and he's got a good counter jab, good overhand left when he shoots that overhand over the other guy. And look at how he was trying to do the right thing against Errol Spence here, catching him coming in and trying to keep him turning. Late in the fight, he got worn down, but when he's fresh, you guys tell me, what do you see here?
The guy doesn't load up on his jab. He fucking punches off the fly. Even though he's scooting backwards, he doesn't cock that hand back. He just fucking brings it forward.
That's right.
Yeah. He doesn't overuse his shoulder either. He just gets it going really quick, so he doesn't give away that he's throwing the shot right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just little movements. That's all you need. You only need little movements, little head movements, and that's the difference between getting caught with a shot and it missing. So look, it's just smart work. It's the Winkerman style in it from the Brendan Ingle gym. They're all quite slick and they're clever fighters, mate. It's a good style to have, the old Brendan Ingle style, but it's a dying style. There's not many fighters really that use it now.
Yeah, like Elias Tufekix in the chat room says he's got that pull counter. He relies on that a lot, and he was having a lot of success against Triple G too. Now here he got hit, but you see him coming right back with a left of his own. So he's got a little dog in him. He's not afraid to come.
This is what I meant when I said earlier about Kell Brook winning the fight from distance. This is where he was winning it with the lead hand.
Mm-hmm.
The lead hand was doing the business. It was only when Errol took the fight to Kell is when the tank emptied, and that's all she wrote. But when it was fought at distance, I mean, as you can see, Kell was doing the better work. I mean, I know it's only a few clips, but go back and watch the whole fight. That was earlier on. That was happening quite a lot. What we're seeing there.
Yeah, so it's got to be elite level because Errol Spence also got a good lead hand.
Mm-hmm.
He was winning some of the exchanges, right?
Errol was just falling short with his shots, and that was a problem with Kell. Look, just a little slight movement from Kell, and then follow through with the left hand.
And Errol had a reach advantage in that fight, 3 inches.
Exactly.
I think Crawford holds a 5-inch reach advantage. Though.
I was going to mention that.
That's what I mean when they say about him going up to 154. His attributes just don't suit it. I mean, if welterweights have got 5-inch reaches on you, what's these fucking monsters at 154 gonna have?
Hey, speaking of monsters, man, because I was watching, you're gonna see clips of Brook against Spence, Sarafa, and Sean Porter and all that. But then you see against Golovkin. My God, Golovkin's back, man. This motherfucker is a tank in there. I mean, he's the true middleweight.
Look at the size of his. Look at his back and his shoulders, man. For fuck's
huge.
sake.
He's huge.
How can anyone say Kell Brook looked like a middleweight in there against Golovkin?
No, well, he looked a weight division below.
Fucking Golovkin's a tank, man. I would not want to fight the guy, man, if I were a pro fighter. But anyway, you can see here that Kell Brooks, nevertheless, was able to get some good work from the outside, getting that jab to the guard, at least pushing Golovkin head back a little bit. So it's a good...
Do you see the angle of G... Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
The angle of G's head. Look at constantly the Triple G, the angle of his head. It's always at a little bit of a tilt, right? At the spine. Yeah. That makes a huge difference on impact. When you have your head up straight, that little bend makes it absorbs it. And he always keeps his head down. And he always, because what they'll tell you, right, when they'll bring you in, like if I taught kids from the beginning, I would always have them, hold the earlobes and look through the top of your eyelids at me, and I'd smack them every time they didn't, because that's important. You want to keep your head at that angle. That's just a well-trained fighter.
Jimmy, it stops your head flipping back. And
snapping back, exactly. When your head snaps back, what happens when your brain snaps back, your brain is actually sitting in jelly. And all it has to do is that called whiplash effect, right? And all it has to do is your brain just barely touch the side of your skull, just a little, and it automatically does, boom, it shuts off. That's a knockout. It says, okay, something's bad, and it shuts itself off. So holding his head like that, like he constantly does, that's one of the reasons he absorbs the shots he takes. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, but the thing, look, see what Kell's doing here is nice work, but he's landing these jabs and admiring him a bit too much for me. He's got to be coming through. He's got to be following with the right hand in some of these clips. Look, He's throwing the jab and just admiring the jab. There's got to be a right hand coming behind that jab because that's just not enough, that jab. There's not enough on that jab that's going to bother anyone. So you've got to be following through with a nice right hand. It's just that's my problem with Kell Brook sometimes.
He's looking down at his feet.
His hands go. When he lets his hands go, it's a lovely sight to watch. Just doesn't do it enough for me, and that's why he gets dragged into these wars.
He's a little wary of Golovkin's power too. That's why he's testing the waters. He's ready.
Yes, but
he's
like
getting
I said,
ready to react to Golovkin's because Golovkin's closing the space. He's waiting for Golovkin to throw that right hand.
Yeah, you can see this the way he's throwing his punches. All the weight is up on his left front foot. Look at, he has no weight on his back foot at all. He's not, you know what I mean. So that's an escape tactic. See, he can jump back real quick. He's not.
But also, to Gonzalo's point, I'm not showing these clips here, but Golovkin was doing good work with his jab himself. You know, he's got a shotgun jab, so that's why maybe Kell Brook was a little bit hesitant even when he was landing the shots. But anyway, let's move on to so this is in his not his last fight, before last fight, but against really his last decent opponent. Yeah, as you can see, Sarafa was taller. So there was some work to be done there to get that jab. But again, you can see Brook doing good work with his jab.
Look at the size difference. You want to tell me this guy's a 154? Look at the size.
Zarafa's a career middleweight.
Damn.
He looks it as well.
By the way, Sarafa...
He's fighting at 154, though. This is my point. My point is that when Kell does go up to 154 mark, he just looks so small in there against these guys.
Well, against Zarafa, yeah, but Zarafa's, like I said, he's a middleweight. Like against Quillen and stuff, he looked the same size as Peter Quillen, and Quillen's a big enough boy himself. I mean, when he was against the Luka and Rabchenka, career 154 pounders, he looked the same size as them.
Yeah. It's amazing how that guy made 152. I think this was that, wasn't it?
Yeah. He also fought Horn at 154.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Kell Brook, too, is that jab is nice and straight, man. He's not flaring the elbows too much, and it's precise, man. I mean, this is the type of jab that can wear a guy down because they're snapping.
It's very well timed. It's very well timed.
No telegraph either.
None.
Well,
and he always waits for his opponents to make a slight feint with their hands.
See that jab there? That is a lovely jab there. That's how you jab. That is a beautiful jab, man. Look at that. That is how you jab, guys.
I wonder if he has a hard jab, like, you know what I mean? I wonder if he puts a lot on it. Or if it's just a timer, like one of those space-time jabs, you know, get your head attention. Or if it's like a fucking make your eyes see white in the corner of your eyes and your fucking head ring.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it's an above-average powerful jab. It's not just that the type of jab that stings. I think it is the type of jab that you go, whoa, I don't want to be getting hit with that one again.
No, Sean Porter said he has a stiff jab. So
well,
I believe it.
Mark, look at this jab here. Look at how he stuns him.
Wow.
Boom.
Wow, and he pushes it forward. He didn't cock back on it. He just pumped it out like from right there.
That's almost an arm hook, though. Even though it's a jab, it's almost an arm shot
right there.
hook.
Boom.
I'd say that is a hook. I wouldn't even say that was a jab. I'd say that's a hook.
Looks like an arm throwing hook. Let's see. Yeah, that's a hook, man.
Like a fucking kind of a check hook jab.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's nice.
That's a lovely. That's another lovely shot. This is what I'm saying, mate. If these shots, see that range there is where Terence likes to get busy, and if he could walk onto one of them. Man.
Kell's got crazy timing. Crazy timing.
He has. That's
like
what
if you look at all the jabs he was landing on Golovkin there. It was when he was waiting for Golovkin's arms to slightly open to split the guard. It was exactly when the arm would just open and then pam, right in there, no telegraphing straight through. He's got beautiful, beautiful timing.
He looks like
he's fighting against.
This is Zarafa right here.
The male stripper, Magic Mike.
But to be fair, he was doing that to Sean Porter as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is. I know Zarafa. What's his name again? Zarafa. Sorry.
Zarafa.
I mean, whatever his fucking name is useless. I know that.
Oh.
But, he was doing that to Sean Porter as well. So
the kid's
talent, man. Look, that's a lovely
6
shot.
years ago too.
Yeah.
Sean Porter fight.
Yeah, it was 6 years ago, but we're just talking about what he can do in a boxing ring, and obviously
he's clearly I was gonna say he's clearly athletic. You know what I mean? He's like the kid guaranteed if he wanted to. If he plays basketball, he's great at it. Soccer, you know what I mean? You just can tell he's an athlete. You know what I mean?
A bit like Progray, isn't it? Progray's one of them, isn't he?
What'd you say?
Clearly has
Apology.
a powerful jab. The guy got staggered right there. Serafa.
Apology. Apology. What did you say
That's what I'm saying. This is what I mean. When people say you have to swing your arm back from the fucking hills to knock these people out, just little short shots like that just cause as much damage.
On the chin, right on the chin. I'm telling you, right on the button, dude. Boom.
They
Right
cause
there.
as much damage as swinging your arm back for them.
And the only tell on that.
remember.
Hold on. Apology wanted to say something then, Mark. Go ahead, Apology.
I was gonna say, if you remember I think it was Hector Saldivia fight, how he just rammed that jab right in the guy's face and dropped him. Like, he can change the speed and trajectory when he wants to. I think that's all the Ingle training footwork at the time.
Wow, yeah. Hey, apology. And so Terence Crawford gotta be careful when he switches, because like they like to say, oh, he's very fluid when he changes to righty to lefty. I think there's vulnerabilities there. You're never gonna be the same if you're naturally one way.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
well, Mark wanted to say something.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
The only tell I'm able to see off of his jab so far is that he always pushes right from the heel and he lifts his foot up as he goes.
90 seconds.
He distributes the weight really quickly, but it's the only tell you see him push off of it as he throws.
Yeah.
Off of the rear foot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I asked if he hit hard.
Yeah.
And the reason I say switch hitting, because if he's able to have some control with that lead hand and he still can deliver some power, I mean, the other guy might be thrown off his stance.
It'd be a stupid thing
a left-hander.
It'd be a silly thing for Terence Crawford to just fight southpaw against Kell Brook, because Kell Brook has a world-class right hand, a lead right hand as well. He leads with it. It's pinpoint. I mean, you just walk when you're a southpaw and you're not a natural southpaw. It's just not to go in there and fight Kell Brook's southpaw is the wrong game plan for me. I'd go orthodox. Take that right hand away from him if you can. I mean, because if you walk onto a straight right from fucking Kell Brook, mate, it could be night.
It depends on how good he can fight southpaw while going to his right.
I think Crawford
going to his left.
looks,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Crawford actually looks slicker, harder to hit at southpaw for me. I think once I've seen Crawford in fights where it's going back and forth, and then he switched to southpaw and he started to take control where they just can't get to grips with him at southpaw. But obviously he's not a natural southpaw, and I think with Kell Brook, he's fought 8 southpaws, and the only one he's lost to was Spence, I think. So, you know, he just loves fighting southpaws. It suits him with that right hand he's got. And Terence is not a natural southpaw. See, Errol is. That's the difference.
And with
you know what?
Crawford,
Yeah. Sorry, Jimmy. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
Jimmy, go ahead,
BDA,
please.
were you just going to say something?
No, I was going to say you. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you can see that, to me, that Crawford's the same way. Same kind of kid, very athletic, depends on his athleticism for a lot of what he does in there. But the difference, and this is just my opinion, there's a lot more dog in Crawford. The kid's just a fucking tough, nasty kid.
Well, yeah, he is tough, man.
Yeah.
Especially in his last fight. Fight, he just went at it. He was like, fuck it. Let's just go.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention, because now we're looking, because I was showing the Kell Brook jab and the lead hand. Now against Kavaliauskas, like Apology said, I'm showing you clips first here of how Kavaliauskas was able to have some success here with overhand lefts or with leading with the jab. And even though Crawford has that big reach advantage over his opponents, nevertheless, he does drop his hands a little bit. But like Kell Brook, he's also very dependent on leaning back on the back foot and trying to pull use the pullback counter with his lead hand. But here, as you can see, he was getting tagged up.
See what Kell has to do, BDA. Kell has to hit Crawford with a big shot early and get his respect. So Terence thinks, well, fucking hell, if I go inside, like if I get inside, I might get caught with one of them again, and it makes him cagey. You don't want Crawford getting confident where he's started to step inside and start letting his hands go because it's going to be a torrid night for Brook if he does if that happens. Kell's got to get his respect early, hit him with a big right hand, and then take it from there really. But you know, you got to. This is a fight where you take round by round. You know, you don't come up with a game plan. We think, well, we'll lose the first 4 and come on strong. A Joe Gallagher game. It ain't going to work, you know, with this guy.
Oh, Joe Gallagher again. Huh? Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Well, Joe Gallagher is the only guy that seems to doesn't get his maths right. I mean, lose the first 7 and come strong in the latter rounds and hope you get it on the cards. I mean, it just doesn't add up, does it?
I gotta commend you. This is a good pick because this jab that this guy's getting hit with Terence Crawford is similar to the one that Kell Brook hits at Alpha with.
I know it's a good pick. That's why I chose it.
Yeah.
What's the matter with it? No, I'm kidding. That's my that's my new character. The guy that gets pissed off when he gets yeah. All right. Anybody else want to say something about this clip before we move on? All right. Now this is just Kavaluskas with that lead jab. Just catching. Crawford does, and this is something somebody mentioned in another part where he's got that chin up in the air. He's been able to take the shots so far, but like I always say, if you're easy to find, what happens if you can't find the other guy? You're liable to lose a decision, and as we've seen, Kell Brook is a technician. So
yeah, he needs to come in looking through the tops of his eyes. He can't be fucking keeping his head up on a fucking swivel like that.
Mm-hmm. By the way, the phone calls are closed for the moment. I'm going to be reopening them soon, depending on how much time passes by here, or how much time we stay on the air.
Jay in the chat says he thinks Kell Brook should fight Southpaw because that's his only chance. Well, how is that his best chance when the guy's never fought a Southpaw in his life? I mean, he must want to get knocked the fuck out quick if he does that.
No, that's not true.
I've seen Kell Brook switch.
I've seen him switch.
Seen him do it now. Listen, you'll never see Kell Brook more than 20 seconds in the Southpaw stance.
Round 3, Carson Jones 2. Round 3, Carson Jones 2 when he dissected him, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Carson Jones is not Terence Crawford. He's not going to take them chances, I don't think. That's for sure. It's just not comfortable. When a stance is not comfortable for you, there's no point fighting in it. You know, why would you fight Southpaw? Look, Southpaw doesn't come natural to a right-handed. It doesn't. Some fighters it does, but most guys, you try and fight in the Southpaw stance, just doesn't feel right.
And by the way, Mark was saying earlier, like, he was excited for the Carson Jones Kell Brook fight, but Mark, he gets excited by watching 2 Thai guys sparring in a back alley somewhere. So take that.
Mark watches straw weights in exhibitions and gets excited.
From Indonesia, yeah.
Well, you can never tell what gender they are.
For fuck's sake!
All right, so again, this is just. Go ahead, Mark. Gonzalo, go ahead.
He raises his head, but he's probably getting away with it because he's got those extremely long arms and he's punching at the edge of his wheelhouse. So he might have a little bit of a reach when he throws punch for punch with another guy. With the other guy falls a little short, and he's just looking down to land his shot.
Right,
but he actually raising his head
too, right?
But this is what
Crawford got a 74-inch reach, so I don't even know if he's gonna have a reach problem with Brook.
Well,
reach won't be a problem. No, reach won't be a problem with Brook. He's got a 5-inch reach apparently.
Right.
But
no, it's not going to be a problem. It's an advantage.
Well, yeah,
I'm just saying he might not get clipped because he raises his head, but he's punching from the edge of his wheelhouse. So those long arms allow him to have a little bit of an allowance between him and his opponent.
But this is what me and Recognize have been saying for months now. Terence is there to be hit, and we're seeing Kavaluskas land good shots. You know, he's there to be hit, man.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, here I'm showing a whole bunch of clips of the battle of the lead hand, and it's not like he dominates it. I mean, we're going to take a look at later on at how he handles the lead hand himself. He's got a good lead hand, but he's, like you said, he's there to be hit, and that could be a problem if he can't take Kell Brook out. Because that's what...
can I say to BDA to that about there to be hit? Mm-hmm. It's the same with everybody. It depends on what's coming at you. And if the guy's a fighter, like most fighters, you know, especially at a certain length, they know they can take that shot at that length. It's not going to knock them out. And they're willing to take it. In fact, they want to take it because if they don't take it, they don't get in the fight. Some guys need to get punched You know what I mean? To get the juices flowing and get him to fight.
Yeah, I agree, Jimmy. I agree.
Jimmy, I think you've been hanging around with Mickey Ward too long, mate. They're not all like Mickey Ward, I can assure you.
No, I agree. Sometimes you want to take the punch because you want to stay in position to land your own shot. You don't want to skirt all over the place.
Plus,
because
you
you're
got to
not gonna
get
have
your.
your legs under you.
No one wants to get punched.
Well, but dude, when you fight, you got to get used to it a little. Because what happens if you don't get clipped now and then? You don't build up a tendency. You got to take some shots. You just don't want. What it is you don't. In every fight, in every boxing match, you're gonna get hit. You put yourself in a position to take the shots that are least likely to knock you out, but you got to kind of get your body, your jaw. Ever notice in the beginning of a fight they'll sit there and stretch their jaw and keep hitting their jaw? That's for that reason.
Yeah.
So
you want to hope your jaw don't get stretched. You want to hope your jaw don't get stretched in another way.
It's basically what Tank Davis did. It's like in order for him to land that left uppercut, he had to get in position and had to absorb a couple shots. Because if he was going to be moving all over the place like the Matrix, he wasn't going to be in there to be able to get his footing down in the position in the distance to land that shot. He had to punch in between Leo Santa Cruz's
My point
punches.
is, you'd be silly to think that you can just let fucking Kell Brook land a few clean ones on you to warm you up. I mean, you'll be. Don't worry, mate. You'll be very warm after they're landed. Actually, you might be cold.
Well, no, but
you might be frozen cold after a few hours. You want to be very careful.
I'm sorry, Gonzalo.
When Exchange can define the fight.
I don't think that Kell Brook, by no means, is no kind of pillow fist or nothing. But when the fuck did he become a power puncher, though? Like, we acting like what Kell Brook could do. Like, when he ever become a concussive or a dangerous puncher? He ain't no fucking dangerous puncher to me, man. Not even a little bit. Like,
he is.
I haven't seen it. Like, I seen Kell Brook fights. I don't see him as no fucking massive dangerous puncher.
I don't know what you're watching, then, Dick.
Hold on.
I don't know what you're watching.
We're gonna get to that. Right. We're gonna get to that. Let's get through these clips, man. Okay, so here you see again, just to get another shot of an overhand right. I mean, overhand left. Another overhand left. Okay, we already saw that one. All right, this is against Dulorme, who's more of a Kell Brook type of boxer puncher. Obviously not the same style. There's some differences, but
look at the reach. Look at the reach on Dulorme. I mean, their fucking arms. Look how long they are.
Yeah, but those are those Puerto Rican Colombian arms because they get a reach.
Yeah, look how long they are. They're longer than his fucking legs.
Now, to be fair,
I think this fight won the distance too, right? BDA won the distance.
No, he actually knocked him out. Crawford stopped him in this fight, but this was in 2015.
I just want to say quickly to D. I actually spoke to Carson Jones a few years ago on Skype. We actually Skyped him and he answered. We started speaking to him, me and Errol Jarrett, and I asked him about this Kell Brook fight. And I said, "How hard does Kell Brook hit?" And Carson Jones said he hits extremely hard. He goes, he was having headaches for weeks afterwards. And this is Carson Jones, as tough as they come. No one's knocking Carson Jones out. The guy's got a granite chin sort of thing. So, and he reckons Kell Brook's hit him as hard as anyone else has hit him before. So, look, he hits hard enough. Let's just say. And
he's starting also. That's why.
Terence is no Carl Froch Golovkin when it comes to chins either.
Well, and I just wanted to say too. I wanted to clean up what I was saying. Obviously, he's not going to put himself in a position to take knockout shots, but when you're going into a fight, you're gonna get hit. I mean, Brook is gonna hit him. It's just inevitable.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. So you don't want. I know it's hard to explain. Like I said, it's not just even his brother. Dickie was like a fucking. He fought more like Sugar Ray Leonard, up on his toes and stuff. But no, you got to get into it. Even I only fought in the amateurs, which is hell in the world, going from fucking the pros. But even there, man, if you don't get a few shots taken, and it's not knockout shots. Not like, I'm going to take this kid's best fucking ringer. But you're going to be getting shots, so you want to take the ones that get your face ready for some battle.
Yeah. Kell Brook hits, for me, Kell Brook hits hard enough to stop Terence Crawford if he lands clean. But it's all well and good saying he stopped him. He's got to land it, though, isn't he?
That's what I was going to say, because he does hit hard. Yeah. He is a good puncher, but we're going to see later on who the guys that were able to take his punch. And so the question is going to be not whether he hits or not. It's really whether Terence Crawford can do what Spence did, which is to walk him down. So let's continue here real quick, man.
That's how Terence has got to fight. But then the thing is, when Terence does fight like that, he's going to leave himself open to big shots, walking into big shots, And look, the thing with Kell is, I just wish he would I wish he'd double his punches up at times, change the pace and even combination punching. He's lovely watching him throw combination, but it's a lot of single shots in it. It's all single shots, and this is Kell's problem. He's throwing the single shot and he's out of there, and he's blowing his tank by running instead of standing there. I'm not saying standing square on, you know what I mean? He doesn't need to use all this energy by running.
That's true. Now listen, I want to get back. We're going to keep talking.
Yeah, that's why his tank empties.
We're going to keep talking about the power issue because I want to talk about that. But before that, we need to get to some of these other categories. Here, he was doing good things against Spencer, keeping him turning, getting away from his left hand. As you can see here, using that lead hand to control him, turning him, pivoting, and then he switches. Here we see he does switch and then just, boom, pot shots him there and then switches back. So he can switch, he can shift, but he's not going to remain in a southpaw position for long stretches. He's just going to sprinkle that in.
Look, you can see with his balance, he's just not comfortable there. Look, watch.
But that's
look when he's throwing that southpaw shot. Look, it's just not. He's not comfortable. He's square on, for fuck's sake, with his chin in the air. It's just not comfortable to him. Look, watch this. He throws the lead right hand from a southpaw, well, sort of a southpaw stand. And look, but he's square on. His balance is not there. It's just not natural to him.
But can I say, Stu, too, honestly, this fight is what actually kind of changed my perception about his power. Whether I was going into this fight, I probably rated his power higher than I do now. And it was because that Spence almost showed it no respect. Just like walked him down. Usually if someone cracks hard enough to fucking knock people out with concussive power.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
Spence
think that's the case.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's the case at all. I think he hurt Spence at times. Spence took some big shots. Who's hurt Errol Spence? Come on, man. I mean, you're gonna have to go back.
No, but I'm saying the way he came at him. So like, I mean, look at it like this.
Okay, listen. The power thing.
Sean Porter did that to Errol. Do you know what I mean? That was the way Errol had to fight.
We're going to address the power. We're going to address the power later. We're going to address the power.
He hasn't got concussive power. But if 3 or 4 of them land on your butt, you're in big trouble.
Listen, we're going to address the power later, okay? We're going to address the power later. We're going to get to it. Trust me, guys. Let's not get too focused on that. So here again, just keep. This is what he's going to have to do against Crawford if Crawford turns southpaw. Jab him, lead overhand left, and then just use that because Brook is good, sneaky.
Totally dismissed that Errol Spence didn't get hurt in that fight. I mean, I just don't know where.
We're going to get back to it.
But that's not what I said.
No, Jimmy, please, Jimmy, please. We're going to get to the power. We're going to continue the power. We're going to continue the power discussion later.
But I just want to say that's not what I said. I didn't say it was at no point. I just said he came forward.
You said he had no. You said he was just walking forward. Had no respect for his power. That's
fellas, the power later. All right, please.
Yep, that's what I said.
Please counter. Now again, here he's countering him again, using that lead. It didn't really land flush, but he sort of shoved him aside. He was doing the right things in the Spence fight, but Spence, because we're talking about power, we're going to talk about Crawford's power later, because that's really the difference. If you want to take away guy's power, you use your own too. But this is something that that Brook will be able to try to do, keep Crawford turning if he is in the southpaw position. Look at Kavaluska's lead foot. Everybody always talks about the lead foot against the southpaw. Well, that's what Kavaluskas is doing here, keeping him turning, moving away from that left, and Brook is out of position there and off balance.
That's Crawford though, isn't it? That's not Brook.
No, I know, but I'm saying Brook is gonna this is what Kavaluskas, because I'm showing you what Brook did and what Kavaluskas did, and therefore he can try to.
Every one of these clips you've shown me is the Terence looking sloppy and taking
because
shots.
He's being made to look sloppy.
So this is the thing. I mean, this is good work that you found this. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people forget this when they think about Terence. They think of all the good stuff he does, but they forget about things like this. So this is good work, BDA. I mean, look.
Well, if he's pivoting like BDA showed the clip prior to where Kell Brook is pivoting and moving, this is what Kavaluskas is doing. So he's kind of comparing what he needs to do to be successful, just like Kavaluskas is doing against Crawford, what Brook can do.
Yeah, but now the big
shots
thing
Kavaluskas landed on the shots Kavaluskas landed. If Kell Brook's landed them, it's going to be different things happening. Like
I don't know. Well, listen, I don't know, but
I'm not saying Brook's stopping Crawford before anyone gets too excited about him. But just saying To dismiss his power is just ignorant for me because the guy's got fucking 28 knockouts. 20. I mean, he's a puncher. He is. You're going by his power against
I'm gonna
Sean
tell you who he
Porter
punches
and
like.
fuck.
He's
Keith
strong.
Golovkin,
Kell Brook.
Porter,
Let me just say
Spence,
something.
yeah.
Let me just say something.
But
He's
Gonzalo,
heavy hands,
please, man.
but he punches on the fly.
Gonzalo, the power. We're gonna get to the fellas. Trust me.
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna talk.
he keeps bringing it up. I just want to mention something.
I know,
so
but
we
just
put it in red.
listen, fellas.
Never mind.
Power,
I agree with the BDA. I agree with
Poor BDA's trying to lead this
I know.
thing,
I'm trying
man.
to because I don't want to. The last time.
I'm trying to find some resolution to help BDA, but anyway,
We're gonna
listen.
No, I hear you, Gonzalo. I do it to him too,
what the
dude.
fuck, man? Listen, we're gonna
People
get
get mad
to
at me using my mute
Hold
button,
on.
but I don't
We're
give a
gonna
fuck. I
get to
mute
the
the fuck
power.
out you guys.
We're gonna get to the power, right, fellas? Please, come on. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. Power later.
No, yeah, but don't shift the blame on me because that's what I'm trying to.
I didn't shift the blame on you. I didn't shift the blame on you. Fucking hell, like Stu would say, fucking hell. All right, now this is just another clip of Kavaluskas turning him, Crawford, that is. Now I want to mention something because we're looking at the clip here. It's easy or simple to keep Crawford turning, but we're gonna look at how Crawford countered this later on. But the onus of these clips are that if Brook can do this and prevent himself from being overwhelmed, he's got a good chance of getting some work done. And this is just another clip here of Kavaluskas. Oh, see, he overreached, but he was able to get out of the way, and then boom, comes back with a left hand of his own, controlling the action.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice from Crawford. That was. But let D get in because I think D's trying to get in, and we've kicked into it.
Nah,
D, go ahead, bro.
Well,
go ahead, bro. I want to hear what you got to say on this.
As long as it's not about the power. As long as it's not about the power, because we're gonna get to the power later.
Yeah, we get it. We get it, BDA. We get it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't see. I see what y'all saying, like where Brook can have success. Just me looking at Brook, and I don't see like a progressive fighter. I don't think Brook is getting any better than what I've seen from him coming from Spence and Porter in those days. I don't like. I would like to feel confident he could do some of these things, but again, I don't see him getting better. Like I haven't seen him get better. I've seen regression. And
D, the question is, has Crawford got better though?
No,
I'm not
Crawford
sure if
Crawford is where he is. He's always been.
Yes, but I'm saying, has he got better? I don't think he has. I think he's progressed as well because he's not been looking at his best in his last few fights for me.
Well, I think Crawford is showing sort of like the Lomachenko thing. Lomachenko at 126 and 130.
Yes. Yeah,
it could be a different fighter, but he still came up to 135 and did his thing. And I think that's what we're seeing with Crawford. He came to 147, but he's still doing his thing.
Yeah.
But with Brook, I've seen a regression. Like, and that's just me personally. Maybe I'm the only one.
Look, it's most people, mate. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate here. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to find a way to make this fight be exciting. And if Kell Brook comes in like I hope he comes in, this is a much tougher fight than a lot of you guys think. I mean, look, Terence is very good, but too overrated by a lot of people.
I think.
I mean, they call him the pound for pound number one. Yet for me, he's not even the best in the welterweight division. So how can that be?
Yeah. I agree with that because I got him down at like number 4 or something on mine.
Oh,
so, yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Now, this is something that I
still
think.
Pretty high.
Yeah, that's still pretty high. Now, listen, this is something that I think Kell Brook could have success with because he's a bit of a headhunter. Kell Brook. That's one thing I don't like about him. Now, here you saw Crawford. His fights very upright, and lately he's been trying to use a guard more. Like when he fought Kavaluskas, I'm going to show you some clips. He was trying to walk him down using a guard, which is not something we're generally used to seeing from Crawford. Now you see, Dulorme was jabbing him to the body. There's work to be done there. Look at this jab here from Brook when he fought Sean Porter, jabbing him to the body, stopping him in his tracks a little bit. See that in that second clip how?
Oh, that's a stiff body shot. Yeah,
They hurt, don't they? Recognize they hurt, don't they?
Mm-hmm. They hurt for sure.
Now there's this clip here where he really hurt him. Oof.
Yeah. End of the round. I remember this. End of the round. Oh no, it's not this one.
And he didn't catch Porter coming in. He caught Porter in his stance, and he still hurt him. So he's got power.
Hey, BDA, and he throws out like those people that are fencing with the mask. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but we also can't underestimate Kell Brook's strength in the hole that night. Sean Porter couldn't wiggle away and get his work off. I mean, I remember going on the Boxing Voice and they were crying, calling Kell Brook the fucking hugging champion of the world and stuff, and you know they were calling him all. So they hated his performance. I thought it was a perfect performance because that's how you fight Sean Porter. You don't sit there and trade in the pocket with him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Nah, he's not that powerful of a puncher.
But it doesn't matter. Sean Porter, you let Sean Porter hit you a few times in the face and tell me
I trade with Sean Porter, man. He's not that powerful of a
you'll get knocked the fuck out, Gonzalo. Trust me.
I don't, Gonzalo, I don't agree with that because we just talked about Spencer's chin and he buzzed Spence a couple of times. Now, if you buzz a guy like that with a chin like that, then I don't know about all that power. No Porter power. So I ain't really.
Porter is not a powerful puncher, man.
I'm not
He's
saying
strong,
a powerful puncher, Gonzalo, but he got some power behind his punch.
You might get knocked out. Hey, you might get knocked out by Porter like that, but you can't.
Gonzalo, you get cleaned out. Gonzalo, you get cleaned out by Porter. Quick, shut up, man.
All right, why are we? Everybody's listen. We'll get to power, man. Hold on. All right, now we get to Crawford's lead hand. Because, and this is why I tell you, both guys are very similar. Both have very good punches, man. Now look at Crawford using those orangutan arms of his. They're very long, man. They're extremely long. And like Kell Brook, he doesn't telegraph his jab. Now he can jab from different positions. He's head down the middle, and here he switches it, and boom, and he jabs from a different angle. That was almost like an up jab. So he's very good at controlling his opponents too when he wants to from the outside as well.
Yeah, he could use that jab good, man. He could use it. I like how there's no, it's not telegraphed at all. It's just boom, right in his face.
I still can't get over how long his arms are, man. That's bizarre.
Well, what is he, 5'9", 74 inches? That's pretty long. Yeah,
man.
For a guy that he's got a lot. Look at his back, too. Look at his back. He's got a big...
Man, he can scratch his fucking ankles standing up, fam.
He can scratch his ankle.
Just go down and just scratch it.
That's the type of guy, if I want him to reach something behind the couch, this is the guy you get to, man. In a party or something, it's like, hey, man, I dropped my cell phone behind the couch. Can you get it for me?
Also, you know something, BDA? It's the reason why he misses a lot of shots, too, when he's throwing hooks. Those arms are so fucking long. You know what I'm saying?
It's like fucking go, isn't it? It's like go gadget arms, isn't it? Can you remember Inspector Gadget when he used to go gadget arms? His fucking arms would stretch out and go and get something.
It's a disadvantage when you miss, right? Because by the time you bring those limbs back, it provides the other fighter an opportunity to counter you.
Exactly, Gonzalo.
Now look at this jab here. No telegraphing. See how he keeps the hand in front of him and just boom, just twists his body to uncork that long jab of his. And he can also jab from the southpaw position, but we're gonna.
Look how he moves Dolome's head when he just like he just touches him.
I'm telling you,
he's got that whiplash. That whiplash.
Yeah,
effect,
he got that whiplash.
Deontay Wilder, I would say.
That's why when we get to the power,
that's a beautiful job. That's a lovely job, mate.
Yeah, that's why when we get to the power, I want to compare Crawford's power to Porter's power. I mean, to Spence's power, because I do think there's different type of power, but it is powerful nonetheless. Now, here you have
jab you just put that jab. I like how you said he didn't telegraph the jab. Yeah, that one there. Look, he comes from an angle where you're just not seeing that. Mm-hmm. That's lovely work. That is.
Now here is against Kavaliauskas. He did good job. I mean, I know Kavaliauskas hit him with the left hand, but Spence did. Crawford, sorry. I keep fucking their names up. He did some good work himself. Now here again. Now here's against. Those are light jabs. I'm trying to get to the hard jabs. Here we go. Look at that overhand left. I mean overhand right. Boom. Just keeps it down. So he traps Kavaliauskas into coming in. He lulls him into coming in because he sees that low hand. So he jabs and then boom. And you can see
it's actually a short shot, BDA. It's a chopping short shot because he already got his arm extended.
Yeah, it is Gonzalo. It's a nice little chopping right hand. That is, yeah.
Yeah,
but they're
just gauging the distance.
They're hurting you, but they're not taking.
He's got strong hands. the boy got Crawford got strong hands.
Yeah.
He does, because
that
look at
shot's
how,
not taking it out though.
because look at how he. Sorry, go ahead, recognize.
No, I was gonna say, by his reaction, the way he threw that punch, usually it doesn't really kind of bounces off of you. But look look how Kavaluskas his body just moves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great
But
point.
he caught him right on the button though, didn't he? That's it.
He did.
Crawford's got good timing. Go ahead, Gazelle.
I was just gonna say that was a short shot because although it seems long, his arm is already it's extended.
Mm-hmm.
He just turns it over at the end, right? What are you gonna say, BDA?
No, I was just gonna move on. Yeah, I just wanted to see if you guys. But it's true that that's one of the benefits of having good timing, which he does, just like Kell Brook. But also those long arms of his, he knows how to counter from every angle, whether it's with his elite hand, backhand, and then the fact that he can switch stances just makes him all the more.
I think, was it Jimmy? Was it Jimmy who said about his arms being long? That's why he misses with the hooks. Was it Jimmy who said that?
I think it's Gonzalo.
Yeah, recognise. I mean, I agree with that. I think that's the only problem when your arms are that long. It's hard to get the technique right on the hooks.
Mm-hmm. Now here we see against Magic Mike, aka Serafa. This is something that was concerning. He got hit with a lot of jabs. Normally, when you see him fight boxer punchers, he can actually parry the jab and move. This one, again, some people are going to say, yeah, but Serafa was taller. But guess what? Crawford has those long-ass arms that we saw. So if Serafa could do this, Kell Brook better be sharp in this one. Otherwise...
It's like what Dee said. He doesn't see Kell Brook getting any better. He's just basically, where he's at. And look how he's getting hit with those jabs, man. He's like, it's almost he's getting caught with those jab amateurish style. Like,
yeah, but this here, right? This is Kell Brook basically showing no respect to his opponent.
That's true. That could be true. Yeah.
I mean, no, the way he's fighting, he's just walking.
You will admit,
look
he's
at him.
hit easy.
He's just totally off his game. Look, he fights like that against Crawford. It's over quick.
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody likes to get hit, man. So I don't.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Let Jimmy get in there because he's been quiet. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, I was going to say I wouldn't think that for either one of them, the inside game is either one of their strong points. Like even Crawford, I would say if there was a weak part, if I was to say, it probably is inside game, like just like being nasty inside. Believe it or not, I know a lot of people won't agree with me because he hasn't fought anybody, but Tank Davis is he's almost like a throwback to the old style, the way he pivots his hips.
I like that kid. I'm telling you, Jimmy. The more I watch Tank, I like that kid. I just need him to fight.
BDA, how long was I saying about Tank Davis? How long have I been talking about this kid?
Yeah, you were one of the people defending him on this show. That's for sure, man. Years
ago.
But you should have
listen. I was saying years ago, right? What a special talent this kid is. But I've seen also how he lives his life, the shape he's in at camp. Them things catch up with you eventually. That's why I gave Santa Cruz a chance. I said Tank would win, but I didn't think he'd get destroyed like he did. Because with Tank, you just don't know what Tank Davis you're getting on the night, do you?
Well, you know what, man? Listen, with getting back to Kell Brook real quick, because people are somebody in the chat room said that that was Kell Brook was rusty. Well, what the hell is he going to be against Terence Crawford? Because he hasn't fought a world-class opponent and he hasn't fought at welterweight in a while. So
I think that's just no regards, no respect, for this fighter, man. He's just strolling forward with his fucking chin in the air, and
you could tell he doesn't have no real concern about Serafa. So
I don't know, man. Look, I think he was trying to, because I'm not showing you the clips of Brook working the defense in this fight, but he it's not like he was like, oh, let me take these shots because I don't care. Look at these shots; they're snapping his head back. He doesn't want to get hit with the shots.
There's a lethargic aura about his performance. So it's got an arrogance about it where he's not doing like I said, the little movements he was doing in the other clips. He's not doing them. I know he's been out of the ring and stuff, and he's rusty.
Stu, can I ask you a question? Because you love, obviously, any guys from the UK could probably answer more than I'm not from there, so I would know. I wouldn't have any grapevine to it. But you also know, right, going into a fight like this, everybody knows, well, they should know that it's mindset, a lot of this too. Like, where's their mindset? At what point of their career would everybody step back and say, where's Brook's career right now? Is it on the downside? Is he looking? Do you think? I'm just asking. Do you think he's looking at for an exit plan? If he is,
Well,
that's
look,
a
you could be,
total.
yeah, I get what you're saying. You could be right, Jimmy. I mean, most people think that this is his cash out fight, but look, if you're going to have a cash out fight, why would you fight? Why would you spend most of your time in Spain training, getting fit, working on things when you're just going to cash out? Why would you do it? Why waste all your money on the training camps? Waste your time. Just go in there and fucking get knocked the fuck out, fall over, whatever you got to do, collect your check and go home. But no,
He's probably. I mean, is it crowd
Kell's talking. Hang on a sec. Just 1 second, please, D. Kell's talking beyond Terence Crawford. Now, I'm not saying that means he's going to win the fight. Of course it does. But if he's thinking beyond Terence Crawford, he thinks he can win this and go on and fight other big guys.
Fellas,
Look,
before we
if
continue,
you're going to throw a fight away, my point is, if you're going to throw a fight away, why would you spend a year training to throw that fight away?
Before we continue, shout out to Ringside Charlie, who just donated with a super chat. He says, Canelo Smith official breaking news. Well, I haven't seen that. I don't know where he's getting that from. I don't know, and I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true because I don't see it anywhere. But Ringside Charlie, if you're right, either way, thank you for your contribution, man, and thank you for the news. All right, hold on. D wanted to say something.
I mean, if that is right, I mean, we can't complain with that. Anyone that gives Canelo stick, you cannot moan at that fight for Canelo. As Callum Smith, basically with the options he had, that's number one choice for me. So happy with that.
All right, hold on. Before we continue, because we got to get to these clips. But D, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't necessarily think that it's a cash out fight, but he could be looking at it like, why not, be too much after this? I mean, look, even if he beats Terence Crawford, right, and he pulls that off, which I definitely don't think he does. Then the next fight, whoever he fights might just be you can get more money. You can cash out for more, right? So I'm not saying he's looking at it as a cash out fight, but at the same time, I don't think he's looking at it as a reboot to his fucking career either.
Yeah, no, see, the thing is with me, I think Khan was a cash out fight where he was looking for a way out the minute the fight was made. I mean, just go and look at Khan in the press conference. I mean, he couldn't even look Terence Crawford in the eye. You just knew it was going to be a good night for him, and I think as soon as he had a way, as soon as he found a way to get out, he took it. I think this is going to be Kell's not going in there with that mindset. I know for a fact he's not.
All right, fellas, we got to move on. Again, here I'm just showing more clips of him getting whacked with that jab. Then we get the point. I don't like it, man. That jab bothered him, and then sometimes Kell Brook tends to overreach with his right hand. It wasn't just in this fight. I'm going to show you some clips later on of overreaches, boom, leaves himself open, and we saw that Crawford has a good overhand left or overhand right, depending on. So
little chopping left hand that he threw would land him straight on there, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. This is against Errol Spence. Again, he was getting hit with overhand rights. So the lead hand. So if Crawford goes in there as a southpaw, he could have some success. And does anybody know how much longer Crawford's arms are to Spence? Let me check it out.
It's 60.
3 inches, 5'10". Hold on. Spence is 5'10", 72 inches.
I can't hear anything. You guys are talking. You guys are talking over each other. I can't hear you.
There's only one dude talking now. BDA recognize the only one talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear nobody.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, BDA, man? You're telling us to shut up when we're not even talking.
I heard people talking. I heard people talking over each other, man. I'm telling you.
It's just a little bit of the delay.
D was right. I was the only one talking, man. That was me. I didn't hear you guys speaking. To be I'm not making excuses. I just didn't hear you guys. No, I was going to say that his reach. Spence is 5'10", 72-inch reach, and what's his name? Brook is like 70 or 69, 5'9", with a 69-inch reach.
All right, that's good to know. And by the way, the reason why I thought I heard somebody speaking over each other is because you've been speaking over each other all night. So now you got me all traumatized. You got me on PTSD. I'm blaming you. That's right, you. All right.
Yeah, but to be fair, BDA, the sound is really bad. It's a real struggle to hear people talking on this sound. I just don't know why it's so low. But when you listen to it on YouTube, it sounds good. But just on here, it just sounds so low.
You know what you guys can do? Click on on everybody's icon. Right click on it. and
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah. Raise the volume.
raise each other's volume, man, and that way you'll hear everybody. Fantastic. That's what I do.
I remember when D Jefferson was first on the Discord, talking on the panel. I couldn't hear him, and then I raised his volume, and I heard him perfect.
There you go. So that's one suggestion. I didn't know you guys were
Yeah,
because I didn't know you guys
it's
were having trouble hearing.
Recognizing Jimmy, I struggle to hear.
Okay, so guys, if you have trouble listening to somebody on the Discord, just right click on their icon on their avatar and raise their volume. I didn't know you guys were having trouble listening. That's why I was always thinking, like, is there a delay or something? Or because Google
Yeah, that's what I'm
Hangouts.
saying. When everyone's moaning about it's interrupted, it goes silent sometimes. Then you talk before you know there's a conversation going on. Do you know what I mean? It's a signal between the signal and the sound. It's really hard work to grasp what's going on.
I got you. But it's loads better than fucking Google Hangouts, man. I'll tell you that much.
You know, you sound fine. I can hear you clearly.
I know I sound fine.
Yeah, you the best.
I know I sound fantastic. You don't have to tell me that. All right.
Take it easy, buddy. I'm just saying, you sound good. You sound good.
Hey, how am I sounding? Recognized? How am I sounding? Recognized.
You sound good, Gonzalo, to me.
All right,
sound
cool.
fine. Take it easy, Gonzalo. You sound
all right,
good.
bro. All right.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Roger.
Oh, fuck all you motherfuckers.
All right, listen.
Fuck out of here. Take your fucking mask
That sounds like
off.
Kevin, bro. That sounds like Kevin.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, take your fucking mask off. All right.
BDA. Just
yes,
to ask if you heard, not that it really matters, but Floyd made an announcement. He's going to be coming back, returning to boxing in 2021, and he's going to hold it in Japan.
Who gives a fuck, man? I mean,
I know. I just think.
All right.
Yeah, his tack man must be calling.
Listen. Okay, come on. What's it? Okay, so this is Brook jumping in with that jab and getting countered with right hands. Now this, you can see those right hands are shaking him up. He's not taking them because he wants to or because he's willing to. He's getting tagged. Well, there he rolled with it a little bit.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say no. I don't think he was going in there thinking I'm going to take a shot. That's what I was arguing. Well, not arguing. That's what I was saying with Jimmy earlier. I don't think any fighter wants to take a big shot to get their own off. Just some guys fight like Golovkin. That's how he fights. He relies on his chin and he's willing to do it. But Terence is not Golovkin. That's my point. But yeah, look, this is more down. This ain't down to willing to take a shot. This is down to poor preparation for the fight.
I mean, I don't think you roll. I don't think you rolled with that one. BDA.
Poor preparation.
I don't think you rolled with that shot. I think he made his head fucking turn.
No, I'm talking about the last. Well, I can't rewind it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that one he just caught him, kind of caught. Sometimes he gets caught with an overhand right. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, like somewhat like what the way an amateur would get caught.
See, the thing with Kell, he always looks more. He always looks. It looks like he's hurt more than he really is. It's because he's off balance. He's
off balance.
He's on his he's on his toes as he's flying in with a jab, and then when he gets caught with a shot, because he's off, he's not even on his feet, are not even on the ground. It looks like he's getting hurt and wobbled. He's just look. He's in the air when he gets hit with that shot nearly. So
they say slide, right?
Yeah.
He's throwing that jab and he has no intentions of throwing the right hand, so he's vulnerable. Once that lead hand goes,
but that's a fucking lazy. Yeah, but that's a lazy jab, Gonzalo, isn't it? You know what I mean? When you throw a lazy jab like that, you deserve to be punished.
But you know what, Gonzalo brings a good point. Why is he getting so close? If he's just see how he jabs, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna work on the inside? Is he gonna throw the right from that angle, from that distance? Like, what the fuck's he doing?
I don't know.
He thought he was gonna. He thought he was gonna trade jab for jab or something. That he wanted to step in with another jab, get it, but nothing. He's doing nothing. A whole lot.
But the thing is, what he's doing, he's throwing the jab and leaving his hand down, and he's just wide open. Look at that. I mean, look how wide open that the room he leaves for that right hand.
And it's like you said, he goes on his tippy toes in there.
And this is it. He's on his toes, you see. And when he gets hit with a big shot, his toes are not gonna take that. Then it looks like he's all over the place, but he's not. He's just off balance.
By the way, I heard somebody in the background. I heard a woman saying that felt so good. Please, guys, remember rule number 3 here at BDA: don't fuck, don't fuck while you're on the panel, please, man. That it makes us could get us banned or shut down. So
so good.
Hey, babe, leave it out for now. Yeah, we'll get back to that.
Hey, Stu.
We'll get back to it later, babe.
Tell your girlfriend to calm down.
Tell your girlfriend
Now,
to
was
calm
he?
down.
The thing is, you said too, Stu, right? That you heard rumors that he might have been partying, or he likes the fucking nose
He likes
booger.
the coke. Yeah, the cocaine.
Yes,
He
then
likes
fucking
the coke. Yeah.
Spain is a good place to party too. That's
Yeah.
pretty.
Look, I'm going to be
if you
honest,
want it,
right?
I'm just saying.
I'm going to be honest, right? The UK, including the females, is a country just full of drunk cocaine addicts. That's basically what we've become.
You know what? You can't say Stu isn't fair because people accuse him of, like the other day he was talking bad about the Chinese, he's talking bad about other, but he keeps it real about his own country too, man. He says it. Hey,
Dude,
look.
when I visited the UK, it was easier to get coke than it was weed.
Oh, mate, trust me, the girls are hungry for this shit more than the men are, mate. I went round, a girl rang me up the other day, said, Stu, come over, got a few my mates. We went round there, was fucking cocaine all over the shop. I thought, yeah, I'll have one of them, thank you.
The good cocaine, Stu, the good one.
Hey, mate, these fucking girls, you best have some cocaine in your pocket when you go and party with them girls. They'll soon
How's the
fuck you up.
quality over there?
The time it gets to depends, man. I mean, look, the quality's not as good as you get over there. Just put it that way. It's not as good as you guys get. Just put it that way.
All right, so listen, we gotta get back to the clips here, man. Too much
I was just
coke
gonna say
talk.
real quick too. Can I just say one thing, Stu? If you want to get the best, go see the Hell's Angels. I'm just saying, even in the UK, because they'll have the connection. Anyways, go back, bro.
All right, so I'm showing you. We saw that Serafa was tagging him with clean counter right hands. Take a look at what Crawford can do here. This is against Delorme's jab. Here that was like an overhand. It looked like he was about to switch, but then there's a bit better one here. Boom! He was catching Delorme all night with those overhand rights, right over the jab. Just wait. See how he's waiting for him. He's waiting for him straight up, and then just boom. He dips to his left a little bit. He dips the head to the left a little bit, and just drops that right hand. Boom! Right there, stopping him cold. Crawford's got great timing, man. So if
he's got excellent timing, and
yeah,
that jab is similar to how Brook throws his too.
Like who?
Similar to how Brook throws his. Not the same, but it's similar.
Well, D, let me ask you, since you're because we're talking about the stylistic matchup. Is this gonna be a fight where Kell Brook is gonna pressure him, or is he gonna try to do what he did to Khan, which is like outbox the boxer?
No, he's gonna. If he tries to outbox Crawford, he loses hands down. No unanimous decision, probably 11 rounds to 1. So I believe he's gonna have to implement some type of pressure on Crawford. That's the success that Benavidez and Velasquez had on Crawford. They had to push some pressure on him. Even Jeff Horn found success when he caught Crawford. In the 5th round, he caught Crawford up in the corner. He had hit him with a couple of nice shots, but it was just because of the constant pressure.
I think that's what Crawford's good at.
The type of pressure, he's going to be fuck over. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Crawford steps up his game when you pressure him.
Thank you. Yep. Exactly, dude. Well, that was kind of to my point. He reacts to the hits. Some dudes don't react the same to getting hit. Like you see him, he sticks his tongue out, which I always tell people is stupid. He can get it cut off, but he's even stuck his tongue out when he's in the middle of a fucking firefight.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think he's good at mirroring what you're gonna do. If you're gonna fight him like how Postal did, he's gonna do the same. If you're gonna go tit for tat,
very good.
Okay, he's gonna do the same. He's just always gonna. If you're gonna fight him in the trenches, he's gonna do the same and try to beat you at every that you try to do.
Well, that's his
versatility. A fighter who can do that is actually what you would call really a pound for pound. I mean, I'm not saying that's what Crawford can do, but
type of talent.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you got a fighter who can match everybody for what they're doing, it's like a football team that can match everybody's game plan. And just
what I want to see from Crawford is see if he could do that against like the big boys, like Sean Porter, Errol Spence. See how he comes. I think he does well. I'm not saying he definitely loses, but that's what I want to see.
How he looks against. Sorry, brother. Go D.
I was just gonna say, Velasquez ain't no little guy.
No,
he did that against him already. You know what I mean?
He's Kell Brook sized.
No, but
I thought that was a good performance from Kell Brook. Yes, he got hit. Yes, he got dropped, but came back and he wore this dude down.
And by the way, recognize when you say big boys, I think you're not talking necessarily size, right? You're talking
names, right?
Names, yeah. Well,
we don't know nowadays would recognize the testosterone level will go down.
Okay, come
Now,
on.
now
Potentially.
Kell Brook and Spencer were very equally sized, right, in most dimensions, if I
Yeah, I
remember
mean,
correctly.
Spencer's a big dude too.
I think it's going to answer a lot of questions. I think on how he will look against Spence, just because of the similarities in this fight, in the size wise. It's going to answer some questions for me, anyways.
Now here you have Crawford again countering with that quick trigger.
I thought he broke his leg, man.
This is against Khan. And by the way, people listen, we can shit on the Khan fight, but Khan still has very quick hands, and Crawford was timing him from the outside, man. So, I mean, this is skill to the bone right here from Terence Crawford. And then he leans back right there.
Again, Terence Crawford reacting when you bring the fight to him, his instincts for that is top notch.
Yeah. And that's a good way of explaining what I try to say.
This is a testament of Khan's chin too, though. Because
that too, of course.
that damn punch he catches. You watch this here, because he catches him here. Now you look at this punch that he catching with when he goes down. Crawford in the fucking air off his feet, man. He was in the air off his fucking feet. So that's a testament to Khan's chin right there. For everybody who want to talk about his chin. That motherfucker's chin is weak as cotton.
Come on, brother. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on, Stu. Look.
But it was. I think he was kind of. I think honestly,
fucking in the air. What kind of leverage you get on the monkey in the air?
Khan made fucking Willie Lemon look like Carlos Monzon, mate. This is Willie Lemon with 4 KOs in 35 fights. He had Amir Khan all over the place. Diaz. I remember when he fought Diaz. Diaz come over here looking like fucking Salvador Sanchez when he was
like
in there.
Tommy Hearns, yeah. He looked like Tommy Hearns in there.
And can I say too, honestly, this was actually a combination. D. It was both punches. Watch his right leg right after this shot. Ready? Boom. See his right leg? Look at it. It double snapped. It's gone. Yeah. He was already a little hurt, and then that was just kind of put him right on his chin too. But that first one actually fucking rocked him. Ready? Watch his right leg. Boof. See it? See it double step back? Yeah. It just kind of he almost turned his ankle over. So he was rocked by that one, and I think that second one was just kind of finished him off there.
I'm looking at Harold Spence, Terence Crawford. Even though he's 5'8", 5'9", he's got the feet of a size of a guy who's like fucking 6 feet tall.
That's true, huh?
What he just did there was impressive. Just that punch, the way he comes on the jab.
Crawford enjoys some certain advantages being the size that he is and having longer legs, longer arms, longer everything. You know. You think he's
gonna be
recognize Crawford is a fucking chimpanzee, fam.
No, wait a minute, D. D, you gotta watch out when you say. You gotta watch out, man. You gotta watch out when you say things like that.
American fighters, man, and the reach, man. These American fighters have got ridiculous. It's like they're pulling them out of their mothers from birth, from their arms, with their arms. You know what I mean, it's fucking pulling them out by the arms.
Hey, Stu, look, this will piss some people off. They play on the monkey bars a lot. They play on the monkey bars a lot.
Back to this. BDA, before you change this, BDA, also.
These trying to get us banned with those comments, man. God damn. The YouTube brigade is gonna. The YouTube brigade is gonna.
If there's anyone listening that for the first time, D is a black guy. So before any of you start saying,
I'm all black. Man. I can say chimpanzee and monkey bars.
Oh man.
I mean.
All right, to your film, dude, I just wanted to say one thing, too, about this. Now, another thing that Crawford's doing, I think a lot of people aren't seeing here, what's very impressive, he's throwing that first right hand while he's going to his right. Watch, it's not standing still. He's actually bringing the momentum to his right. Ready? Watch him step into the right as he does it. That's sharp.
That's a
See
great
that, dude?
point,
See him
man.
step to the shot, and then he steps back to his... Listen, that's some world-class shit right there.
That was world-class, Jimmy. But the sign of I don't know if he's trolling here about the chin of Amir Khan, but a sign of a bad chin, right, is when the leg folds underneath him every time they get caught with a big shot. And Khan, how many times have we seen Khan's leg do that?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, no, chin. Yeah, he does have a granite chin. Yeah, I definitely hear. But just
Yeah,
like
because the
when,
chin absorbs the vibration from the shot, and
well, I tell
that
everybody.
vibrates straight down to his fucking Achilles, doesn't it?
Well,
Do you
I
know what I mean?
tell everybody if they want to know what a boxer feels, you don't have to get punched in the face. Just hold up, look at something 10 inches from your face, whatever, focus on something. Take a hand, doesn't have to be even hard. Start tapping at the top of your head, run along the side of your ear down, and by the time you get to your chin, you will literally see everything in your eyesight go fuzzy. Just because in light taps, it just goes to show, because the chin, right, the muscle that holds to the base of your skull holds your fucking brain part in. So that's why they always say on the button, that's the knockout button, is the chin. That's why it's so important. But as he steps to the right there, that's so impressive to me.
Yeah,
because
you know
he's
what?
waiting for it. He's waiting for it. He's not even going to the right, really, until he sees Khan throwing the left right here, if we say it one more time.
But that's what I'm
Right?
saying.
See,
Here.
right?
That's a
Boom,
great.
now he steps.
That's a
Oh,
great. That's
yes,
a great.
nice.
That's a great observation, Jimmy. Because forget the power. It's the timing. If you can have all the power you want, if you can't land the shot, but here he's showing you, like you said, subtle movement to the right, boom, lands it right on the chin.
Boom.
Yeah,
and then he's still got his balance.
Look, Khan threw a very lazy jab there that deserved to be punished. I mean, this is the thing. You cannot be throwing lazy shots like that against Crawford, because that's going to be coming back.
And to what Jimmy said, and to what
boots.
I saw something. What Jimmy was talking about, what he was saying. Sometimes Crawford looks like he's out of position because he's trying to sneak that shot in. So he does sneak it in, and he gets out of position. But look right there, the guy's on the canvas.
It's you don't expect him to throw right there. You wouldn't expect Khan. You wouldn't expect it because it was the position, and he was squared up with his shoulders, but he stepped to his right, pushed to his right. It's just, you know what I mean?
It's just, it's the thing is though, like anyone else, I'd be giving him the respect and the credit for it. But it's Amir Khan in there, and I just can't give. I've seen average fighters do that to him. This is my problem. I mean, yeah, it did look world class, but I've seen average fighters land better shots.
But usually when the average fighters knock him out, it's some windmill shot. He doesn't see shit. You know what I mean, right?
Fair, he don't get knocked out. He don't get knocked out by average fighters. He just gets dropped by him numerous amounts of times. I mean, let's be real.
Golovkin with that
Look,
punch, bro.
when Prescott knocked him out, Breeders Prescott knocked him out in a round in devastating fashion. Everyone was talking like Prescott was like the new Gerald McClellan. But Kevin Mitchell went and fought Prescott the fight after that and schooled him, beat the brakes off him in 12 rounds. Kevin Mitchell went and done the Breeders Prescott that Amir Khan couldn't, and this is where we are. Khan got hyped up from the Olympics. He nicked a silver medal at the age of 17, and he was the Marxist poster boy for the BBC, wasn't he? So he had a head start.
He did have lightning hands too, man. You got to credit him there.
He had lightning hands, but there's a lot of fighters that have lightning hands. You got to have a bit more than that. And it's every time he stepped up in there with top operators, because when he fought Marcus Madonna, I don't care what anyone says, Madonna was a good fight, but no one was really praising Madonna too much. He lost to Katalnik, got beat by Devon Alexander. He was on and off, and like I said, that was his best win. But he nearly got killed in there that night. This is the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Khan's chin is annealed glass, bro. Do you know what annealed glass is? That's what it is. Annealed glass, bro. That's what it is. That shit is fucking paper thin, paper mache, porcelain.
But in most of his fights, until his chin gets exposed, and most of them, he usually was winning. He was up on most scorecards, and most of his fights, he gets knocked out in. What happens? He leaves his hand. He almost falls in love with his fucking handwork. He always leaves one out there longer than he should, or throws one more to his combination. And yeah, he falls in love with him. He gets smoked.
I mean,
but
Danny
most times he
Garcia
was winning.
Danny Garcia was spamming the left hook button, weren't he, when he fought Amir Khan? That's all he threw all night because he knew it was coming eventually. Amir Khan would hold around. Amir Khan would come inside, hang around a fraction too long, and he'd end up getting one on the button. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, look at Canelo. Canelo basically gave Khan an early round or two, just carrying the fight. So a lot of these times, yeah, he's winning the rounds, but a lot of these times, these guys are letting him win the rounds, just waiting to fucking land one on the button.
Exactly. I'm not by no means trying to say the dude's getting struck. I'm just saying he's got good skills, though. He was a decent boxer.
Yes, he has it. He's very. But the thing is, he's got so scared of getting hit now. He's not actually sitting on his punches anymore. He's
Oh yeah, he shouldn't even be fighting,
he's
dude.
throwing. They're called get off me punches, basically, bro. I've always called them
no,
get
he
off me
shouldn't.
punches.
He shouldn't even be fighting, bro.
Yeah, where you're throwing them. Where you're throwing them to get the fighter off, you're basically spinning out there before you've landed the shot, and you're never sitting on your punches and planting your feet and getting the right weight behind them.
You know what it is, Stu? You know who's that right now? And as soon as somebody clips his fucking chin, he's gonna be just like Khan. And fucking Demetrius Andre. Because I swear to God, man, he fights like he know his chin is fucking doo-doo. Right? That's why he calls himself doo-doo. Look, man, that dude's chin sucks. And I guarantee as soon as somebody fucking clips him, he's going right down.
I know for a fact, dude.
Do you know what, D? Do you know what? Hang on a minute, Jimmy. 1 second. Hey, I've been saying this for so long, bro. No one wants to listen to me. I'm glad someone actually saying this guy's vulnerable as it gets, mate. I mean, Cole Kai looked a monster in there that night against him, didn't he? Rocked him to his boots, nearly stopped him. I mean, these big middleweights they're gonna destroy this kid when he gets in there with them. There's a reason why Eddie Hearn is still not put this kid in with a decent opponent yet. And he's been with him about 2 or 3 years now. And
that's why Jamal Charlo is a fucking idiot, because he should have been fought Demetrius Andre.
Yes,
I don't even know what the hang up is. He should have been fought him, fam.
But you know what, man?
Charlo knocked him.
You know what, man? Hold on. I gotta say something real quick, because now we're talking about something else. But yeah, if you wanna see something on Demetrius Andrade, or Andrade as I like to call him, recognize Gonzalo and myself. We did a film analysis over at BDA Live, or second channel. So just write BDA Demetrius Andrade, and you're gonna see we looked at his strengths and his weaknesses. And for some reason, even though we did mention his strengths, we got called haters by a couple of people there. So check that film analysis out over there. It's a very good film analysis. Go ahead.
They don't want to hear me talk about Andre if they call y'all haters, because I'm definitely gonna be a hater. But that's something shit to me.
D, I can tell you the stories of him never going down in the amateurs isn't true, because I know people in New England. He grew up here in New England, and he was down in the amateurs a couple of times. Rhode Island.
I'll knock that fucker out, fam. That dude.
He's from Rhode Island. He was a highly touted amateur. That's how everybody knew of his name, because he was a talented kid. But he was put down a couple of times. I don't know if he was ever stopped, but I know he's been down.
I don't rate. Well, there's a guy in the chat saying he schools Charlo. I mean, what evidence have you got to convince me that he schools Charlo? What evidence have you got that he actually survives that fight? Full stop. I mean, for me, Charlo knocks him cold.
Didn't he go life and death with Matarosen? Was it
Matarosen dropped
and death with Matarosen? Yeah, Matarosen.
Yeah, Varnis Matarosen. Basically went toe to toe with this guy. It was a 50. Some people had Matarosen winning that fight. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And that was for a vacant title, because it's fucking. That's another thing. He never fucking won a belt off of a champion. All his belts come from vacant fucking.
Yeah, I think that's when it burst.
Fucking fighters and shit. Come on.
I think that's when his bubble burst for me. When he went life and death with Matarosen. I'm like, yeah, no.
Matarosen's a solid fighter. Don't get
solid, but elite guys don't. You know what I mean? Elite guys don't go.
I gotta interject. I gotta interject because we're getting away from the...
One second. Some America's going to laugh at me here, but I'm hearing Liam Williams is his next fight. I'm actually picking Liam Williams to win the fight.
Yeah,
I hope he does.
Let's get away from Andrade, man, because we're getting to what you guys want to talk about, the power of both Crawford and Brook. Here we got Brook landing.
He picked him up with that shot.
You know what that looks like? That looks like somebody went from behind and tried to stick a finger up Golovkin's ass. He jumped up. Whoa! What are you doing? That's what that uppercut.
And his neck, and look at his neck, never moves.
I wouldn't have used that.
Never moves, man. That neck doesn't move from its spot, man.
Look into the top of his eyes. I'm telling you, it's all the difference in the world. That kink in the neck is all the difference.
I don't know.
The thing is, like I said, Jimmy. Now that's Golovkin taking that shot. He's actually lifted Golovkin off his fucking feet by the looks of it.
That's what I'm saying.
People didn't credit Triple G. Remember, people didn't try to credit Triple G for taking that shot, trying to say, "Oh, it's because he was fighting." I'm like, bullshit. That was a shot that would have put out a lot of guys.
Triple G had one of the best chins in fucking boxing. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. That was massive, fam.
Also, you know what? The good thing
that would not that hurt Crawford badly. That shot would have.
Hold on. Let
also, you know,
Gonzalo and then Recognize wants to say something afterwards. So Gonzalo, go first.
Yeah, he didn't raise his head. he maintained his chin tucked, even though when he got hit, when he came off the ground a little bit. But the advantage to that also, when you're taking that punch, you're still maintaining your eyes focused to where the other guy, if he lifts your head up, he's going to sneak another shot in there, probably an uppercut or a shot to the body.
Exactly, brother.
I was gonna. What I was gonna say was I was gonna compliment the power of at least on this shot of Kell Brook, because look, yeah, I agree. Obviously, we don't know that Golovkin took this punch well, but you're still talking about a guy, a pretty guy with a thick back. It's 160 pounds, a little taller than him, a little bit more natural weight than him, and he's picking him up with that shot. If he hits somebody dead in the chin like a Crawford, he could drop him. Definitely drop.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been trying to preach all night. Kelb's, all right, he's not that guy that just starches you with one shot like Wilder, but these shots they take their toll. You get hit with a few of them, mate. You're in big trouble.
The problem is gonna be there, but as you get older and your timing and your fucking speed and all of that shit starts to slip, and that's where Brook is now. So
fellas, one at a time. One at a time, please. One at a time.
One at a time. GG 4 years ago, man. I don't know. I gotta see if he can still pull that type of shit off.
Well, let me mention something before we get to another shot from this from the same shot here. But notice how also Brook is actually pulling the old Lennox Lewis and holding Golovkin's head in place for that uppercut. That's something that Kell Brook is very good at, using that lead hand to control his opponents. Let me show you guys another angle here. That's the other angle there of that uppercut. He dips down to the right and just lifts, boom.
Yeah, lovely shot, man. Lovely shot.
Now, in terms of uppercuts, here was another one that lifted, it didn't lift him up, but it did lift his chin up in the air, boom. And then he tried to follow it up with a left hook, which also seemed to push. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, you can see what I can tell you, like if I was coaching that kid, I'd say put way more bend in your back knee and twist them hips more. Like Stu was explaining something the other day, it ain't about size. It's your power plant, your back, it's your whole spin. You know what I mean? If he twisted down on his knee and came up with more of a twist, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, with Jimmy, with those uppercuts, though, I mean, it's more like you're driving from that back foot. You planted on it. You're driving up. You're not really. The twisting comes more with the hooks and shit. I mean, the twisting. You're driving straight in, straight forward with that. Straight from your base with that uppercut. It's a different. You don't really get too much twist in it on an uppercut.
I mean, I think if you want to just watch how Golovkin throws the hook. I mean, Precise mentioned it the other day, where his elbow was already in position, and it's just a short twist movement, and that's all it needed. It doesn't need him to swing back and fucking launch all his body weight in, and just twisting movements. And
exactly.
His elbow's just in a like I said, he just holds it in a funny position as he's landing, and he throws hooks different to most people I've seen. It's hard to explain how he throws it. I'm struggling right now to explain it.
Well, and I just want to say, D, I think
he obviously gets a lot of power in them.
And D, I wanted to say too with the twist. What I mean by twist, like if you watch Giovanni Davis when he throws it, a twist is as you're coming down with your knee. That whole it's still twisting your hips. That's what all your power is from your hips. It has nothing to do with your arms. It's your width of your back, but it's mainly your abdominal and your twist and how you can generate. Same thing when you hit a baseball. Exactly, the hips. And if you watch Giovanni, he does a full 45-degree twist when he throws an uppercut. He turns those hips right around.
Who's Giovanni?
No, I'm saying Davis. When I count him as like one of the better inside uppercut punches right now. He does it beautifully. The way he twists his body, he does a full 45 square away.
Yeah, it's like this sort of analogy when you're drilling. The thing actually spins, doesn't it? As it's drilling, it's twisting as it goes in. It doesn't just drill straight down. You
Exactly,
just get far more force when there's a twisting movement.
Thank you. Exactly.
And it's just like it's turning the hands as well. I mean, a lot of people they slap with the palm of the hands. They get hand injuries. That's why Wilder gets a lot. Calzaghe was the same. Seemed to hit a lot with the palms. You've got to you're not twisting the hands in the right places. You've got to like twist the bar and twist the hands and do it like a corkscrew action. And that's when you get the most power out of a shot. It's a very hard thing to teach. Power's, like I said, it's a very hard thing to teach.
Well, in Triple G, it's funny, he's on there. We're watching him now, too. He's one of the best at that. They used to call it back in the day, like pouring a gallon of milk. It's the same thing. As you're throwing the punch, you're pouring a gallon of milk. You know what I mean? Turning it. Ever notice, too, like if they're warming up and they're looking at the camera in the dressing room, and you see them over-exaggerate, turning their hands way over? You know, you practice doing that. That way, when you're throwing a punch, it's like second nature. You turn your fist over. Triple G is awesome at it. His fundamentals are just unbelievable.
But that's probably why he doesn't suffer from hand injuries. That's what.
Oh, exactly. Oh, exactly. More likely to hit directly on your two knuckles when you twist it over, and you get used to. You want to make contact on the full lateral twist, but he's really good at it, and he can even change direction. Remember how he changed direction on that punch with? Well, I don't want to go into another.
You know what, man?
He's great at it.
Speaking of uppercuts, here we see Kell Brook that he can actually throw that left uppercut as well, and this one is really snapping.
More of a twist. See, much more of a twist, brother. Ready? See the twist? Boom! The hips in the back. He twists more with that one.
Well, actually, you would need to do that with the lead hand. Actually, yeah, you're right. I try to twist with when I throw uppercuts with either hand, and I do hit harder than Kell Brook. Trust me on that. This one,
and you know what, BDA also he's keeping that elbow tight, and when you throw tight punches, the punch lands there faster. It travels a distance where it just gets there that much quicker, and he's going to be able to pierce throwing that punch from down to up. He's going to be able to pierce those long wiry arms if he gets a shot in there. He very well can pierce that guard.
This is Sean Porter all over the shop. The guy can hit, man.
Balance. Wow, he's got good balance too. Watch the way he watches his legs spread out to keep his balance. That's an athletic move right here. Ready? Watch Brook. Ready? Watch his legs. Whoop! Grab his balance. It's good athleticism right there. You can tell the kid's an athlete.
That's what I'm saying. The kid is a talent, man. It's just a shame that Eddie Hearn just basically ruined his career, isn't he? I mean, look, if Eddie Hearn cared about Kell Brook, he wouldn't have put his career on the line to save a pay-per-view card. That's how little Eddie Hearn thinks of his fighters.
Dude, I tweeted the same thing out, dude. Back when it happened, I tweeted the exact same thing.
He was willing to see Kell Brook get killed in there, right, to fill a pay-per-view up because he's a greedy fucker. I just don't like Eddie Hearn one bit anymore. There's nothing I like about that guy. Nothing.
I tweeted, I don't think I said he mustn't have liked him.
And his dad is a fucking nonce. How about that? I said it.
Yeah, I tweeted, I said, wow, he mustn't like Brook too much. Like, why take that? Like, that was just an odd fight to make. For a fighter who was still in his prime. Like, that was just a weird fight to take for a fighter in his prime. That's all.
Hey, by the way, fellas, I'm trying. We are still on the air. The chat room is still working, and my internet is working fine. But it seems like YouTube pages won't load. I don't know if one of you guys can try watching a video on YouTube and seeing if it works. But for some reason, YouTube. Please, yeah. Yeah,
well, we've actually come off YouTube and the stream is loaded as it is.
YouTube, any video, YouTube's down everywhere.
Yeah, YouTube's down everywhere, every device.
Well,
my girl was just checking.
I've just played it, but it's
you know why that is, right?
Recognize. Why is that? What do you think?
There's something coming up.
Oh, election things, you mean?
I don't want to say that today. Cernovich said that there was going to be news today that he wouldn't be surprised if all the platforms go down.
Oh, geez, Luis. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah, because we're no video.
These fucking these Democrats.
Savages, dude. Fucking savages.
The scum of the earth. They are the scum of the earth, mate. I don't care what anyone says. They are the scum of the earth.
I'm surprised. It's kind of surreal when I'm hearing you guys talking about that shit. That YouTube is, it's like videos are not loading, because I remember hearing something about, YouTube shutting down its platforms because of a certain event that happened.
I recognize. I already know what you're talking about. Just leave it at that, bro. Because
I don't even want to say what it is, but it might be something big. That's all it is.
Yeah, and then everybody gonna fucking know about it too. And I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
guys, let me know in the Discord. I want to, because I don't exactly know what you're talking about.
Yeah, now I'm confused too, brother. Now you got me confused. Now I know what to know.
I mean, recognize. I'll send it to any one of you guys, but I'm pretty sure we're on the same page with that.
Yeah.
It's not loading.
Oh, you know what I think happened? I think a certain former mayor of New York just tweeted something, or talked about something in live today, in fact. And I think that's why they're, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at a message board and they're saying YouTube is down. YouTube is down. What a coincidence.
Yeah, probably the fucking, they've all gone.
I sent you the message.
They've all gone to their safe spaces to cry about. I reckon you're right, mate. Mates. I reckon that
you saw that.
Bit of news
you saw the message that I sent.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a bit of news coming, bro.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm not sure, but I think so.
And by the way,
mate, I tell you what. If that's the case, my week just got a whole lot better.
Send it to me right quick. Recognize. I want to make sure that we.
Did you get it, Jimmy? Did you get it, Jim? Jimmy? I mean, not Jimmy. D.
No.
Yeah, I can't check because I have to back out. See, I'm in through Twitter, so I can't. I came in through Twitter, so I can't back out.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Hey, do you know what Fox News in the UK, right?
Okay, recognize. I got it.
We on the same page.
No, we on the same fucking page.
That's what I was hearing too. I didn't know how true it was. I still don't know how true it is, but that's what I was hearing.
Well, hey, if put CNN on, if Don Lemon's crying with his tampon in his hand, then it's probably true.
Well, no, there won't be any announcements yet because it hasn't even gone to court unless it was something so profound. But listen, they even had that. I mean, they have so many fucking sworn affidavits from postal workers. Listen, my girl's been just watching it 24/7, and it's crazy the evidence they have.
Hey, Jimmy, before I want to let you keep talking, but just before, guys, just be aware that I think we're down in certain places, but other people in the chat are saying that they can still hear us. Some people say they can still see the video, so just watch what you say. We're not completely off the air, but...
don't say anything on the air because they can shut us down.
We're only down in the Democrat states. Everything else is working.
Exactly.
Do you mean the shithole? Oh, the shitholes then.
Oh... No, but yeah, do mind what you say because we're not completely off the air.
It could be a glitch with them, but people have been talking about them shutting down completely. Just they'll have a reset. It's just called a reset, And when you reset back, you'll be. Let me say this one point.
Go ahead, bro. Just cut out, man.
I was gonna say one thing, Stu. I think that if that reset happens, you'll see that certain channels will not be able to go back on.
Yeah, I think YouTube are getting far too big for their boots on Facebook. I know a girl, right, she got banned today on Facebook for messing around with her friend, calling her a twat.
Jesus.
So just messing around and saying, "Oh, you a twat, you are."
Well,
she got fucking 7-day ban.
They have keywords. Yeah, they have keywords now and algorithms. Yeah. I mean, algorithm. And it pops up, and if it's somebody there to whack you, they will. Well, some people don't. And if you ever see the people who judge whether or not you're going to get whacked, you'd say, "Oh my God."
See, I'm serving a 30-day ban now for calling a feminist an ugly mutt.
Oh,
so I got a 30-day ban for it.
On what? Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 11 days left.
Oh, damn.
Well, they fucking, what country? Didn't they just shoot some feminists today? It was in the news. They opened up on feminists.
Today just gets better and better.
Yeah, the police shot, I forgot what country it was. It was police shot a feminist.
It'd probably be Saudi Arabia or something like that.
Baghdad. I think it was in Baghdad, in the attorney.
Oh, well, there you go. At least they didn't stone him to death like they usually do.
Oh, jeez. By the way, YouTube is still... Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's still down, man, and that's bizarre, man. Because I'm looking at message boards, I'm going on Reddit, and I'm going to the chants as well, and they are saying, yeah, it's down.
Hey, BDA.
Yeah.
What are they saying? They're saying that the whole YouTube is down.
No video no video works. Like the interface works, but if you click on a video, it just loads and loads and loads and loads, and it never.
It keeps thinking. It keeps thinking. It keeps thinking.
Hey,
It won't
do
be.
you know what I think they might be doing? I reckon they might be doing a fucking clear out, getting rid of all the conservative channels and all the.
Same here in the Philippines. It's not working. Same
Yeah,
thing.
no.
It's
I reckon
idly.
there's some censoring going on. I reckon they're gonna. I reckon when it comes back on, there's gonna be a load of channels censored.
But you know what?
Well, I know mine is on the chopping block.
Yeah, they're gonna come out.
Oh, speaking of censored, Johnny Boy got whacked again today on Twitter.
Yeah,
That kid doesn't make a week, man.
Johnny got whacked.
Johnny
again.
boy, stay off Twitter, please. They're gonna kill you.
Johnny went for a drink and got the Luca Brasi treatment, didn't he? Strangled with a knife in his face.
Hey, but by the way, Jimmy was talking. We're going to stay on the air just in case to see what happens. But I think we're taking too long with the fucking film analysis. We'll pick that up later before the fight comes on Saturday. But I don't know if you guys saw that Veritas video where the UPS guy got visited by a Fed, and the Fed was essentially indirectly telling him, "Listen, shut your mouth about what you saw, and everything is going to be fine." He actually told the guy.
He told him,
I'm
not threatening you, but I sort of am.
Well, he went. Did you hear what the whole thing? What happened with that? First, he went on to Veritas, did that. The FBI came and coerced him to the point he was nervous. He recanted what he said. He goes, "No, I recant everything about the allegations of fraud." The minute the FBI weren't around anymore, he got a hold of him again. He said, "I do not recant it. The FBI literally came and threatened me and made me, intimidated me to recant." This is the FBI trying to force the
FBI.
It's just nuts.
The FBI are a treacherous scumbag organization.
Dude, I grew up in Boston, dude. Think about what I think of these motherfuckers.
Do you know the biggest terrorist organization on the planet? The CIA.
The CIA,
right? They go behind the president's back and start wars and start toppling dictators to start causing chaos. It's what the CIA are a cancer to this planet. And this is the CIA. The reason why no one likes the Americans. It's the CIA. It's not the American people. American people are generally good people. It's the fucking country as a whole. The government. Trump's changed things around for me because he's not a warmonger like these other. But listen, I mean, it's the CIA have been half the problem. They've caused most of the problem, and the CIA even assassinated They've even assassinated presidents. I think the CIA had something to do with Martin Luther King's death, Malcolm X's death. I think all these people. I think
definitely Malcolm X,
dude. Well, I can talk to fucking.
Yeah,
I can talk to fucking. I was gonna say I'm having a hard time hearing you. Recognize? I was just talking over you. I'm sorry, bro.
No, I was gonna say that I agree with Stu. I think they definitely killed JFK. They had something to do with that.
Oh, they're dirty motherfuckers.
And they definitely killed Malcolm X. Malcolm X was becoming he was speaking too much truth.
Well, dude, let me tell you about fucking the FBI, dude. Think about where I'm from, bro. Think about the city I grew up in, Boston. Dude, everybody knew the FBI was dirty here in Boston. In fact, Whitey Bulgy, used to literally call the FBI because they used to say they were just another fucking criminal outfit. They used to call them the bad suit crew. Swear to God. That's what fucking Whitey Bulger, fucking my girlfriend's father-in-law, girlfriend's father, who was knee-deep in the mob, Blackie McKay. You can look his name up. And now I used to drive a limo for him, like I said. But they fucking, they used to call the FBI the bad crew, the bad suit crew. That's how dirty they were. Dude, they had people murdered. They put 4 boys from South Boston in prison for 35 years. 2 of them died while waiting. Everybody knew these dudes didn't do it. The FBI wanted them to go away. Dude, they're dirty, man.
Mate, they are real fucking dirty, man. Look, I was watching a thing the other day about Boston. I reckon Boston's one of the roughest places. Not roughest with like gun crime and stuff, but the toughest. Where there's
the real tough dudes over there. Yeah, there's some tough.
There's some real tough dudes over there, Pat. And Boston is one of the toughest places in America. That's what they were saying. Is that true, Jimmy?
A few times for like sporting events.
I'm sorry, Stu. What did you say the last time? Oh, I'm having a hard time.
I was saying that I was watching something on TV the other day. They was talking about Boston, and they're saying what a tough place it is, with a lot of tough men, and not so much gun crime and stuff like that, but a real city of
no bullshit, dude. South Boston, for South Boston, Charlestown, Lowell neighborhoods. Like I would go to California, and no matter where I went in the country, people in that kind of life would always say, "No shit, our Salty boys." So Boston is just, it has always been, and a lot of it is because of the Irish, man. The Irish love to throw hands, man.
Yeah,
And
they do.
what do they say inside the L Street Tavern? Is a sign above the L Street Tavern bar. The Irish would run the world if it wasn't for whiskey. No, what?
I tell you one thing. Down in Texas, those guys like to throw hands too. I mean, that's for sure. They throw hands.
Texas?
Yeah,
them Irish are tough old boys. They could take a fucking pounding, can't they?
Another tough neighborhoods. Well, there's a few. There's a couple in New York. Hell's Kitchen was the Irish tough. There's a few tough neighborhoods in New York. Philadelphia, boy, there's some tough kids in Philly too.
What's up, guys? Jimmy here.
I can confirm.
Can you guys hear me? Drove it here was the always been a huge fucking money difference.
Have you got a docks?
Very rich, very poor.
In Boston?
What's that?
Have you got a docks?
Docks? Oh yeah.
Yeah, where
we
the
have
ships
docks.
and the
Where the ships land, long dock. I mean, longshoremen. Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, every place that's got a docks, they're usually real tough towns. When you get the fishermen coming.
Yeah, you go to, you find some tough boys too, some tough Irish dudes that is in Far Rockaway by the beach channels.
Oh, New York. Yeah.
Those boys are fucking tough as hell.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? One thing I want to talk about in the next second.
Let's talk girls next time, not boys.
Hold on,
okay,
please.
Okay, guys.
Hey, I'll tell you what, right? See, in England, right?
Can you guys hear me, by the way? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead, BDA.
Yeah, sorry. Just I've been trying to say something that, because you guys were talking about the violence in certain places in the United States, and it reminded me, D, you were from Virginia or you live in Virginia?
I'm from Virginia.
Okay, because I was reading about something interesting about the United States, which is that the Native Americans back then, they used to be all over the place, but strangely enough, West Virginia was a place where there's not a lot of Native American presence, and if you read into the history of Virginia, there's a lot of violence and a lot of hardcore prisons, and you go, well, what's going on there? So next time,
let me say something to you though, Mexican Canadian man.
Yeah.
West Virginia is not us, okay? We are not those bootlicking, hillbilly, fucking incest-loving fuckers, okay? West Virginia and Virginia, keep them separated, okay?
All right, I didn't know about that. Just take it easy. Take it easy, man. Take it easy. See, you're acting like
sounds like my place.
You're acting like a West Virginian, man. You're acting like a West Virginian, D. Come on, but seriously,
I don't fuck with West Virginia, dog.
No,
they like to fuck their cousins and sisters and shit.
No, but the reason is there's something paranormal about that part of the world. So that's what I wanted to get at, because if you follow the parallel lines of where West Virginia passes by, all across the United States, if you follow that line, the highways and all that, there's a lot of weird stuff going there. So I was just saying we could talk about that. But yeah, Bucho.
Listen, nothing gets weirder than New York. There's literally zombies walking around. Zombies.
Apparently,
nowhere's weirder than New York right now.
Nah, bro, I went those fucking. You go on the train in New York, bro. You see the fucking craziest people in your life. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people in the subways, bro.
There's an asylum for fucking nut jobs, isn't it?
Yo, that's the one thing that's true. I don't care what subway system, what subway city in America. There's nothing worse than the subways in New York City.
Hey, I tell you what, right? I would rather walk, right, with fucking blistered feet than get on one of them fucking subways in America. You go on YouTube, and there's just fucking hundreds and hundreds of videos of just people fucking scrapping, fighting on there, isn't it? Over nothing.
Well, Stu, dude, right, to point something out about Boston, think about how, like, the mindset of most Boston people were. Think about the mafia, dude. They ran the United States from like 1930s through the 1970s. What was the one major Northeast city that they couldn't control? It was Boston. Just because of the fucking different street thugs and the fucking street gangs, the Killians and the Depp Boys and the Winter Hill Boys. They couldn't even get these Irish kids under control because they said it's not worth it.
Jimmy, even in New York, the mafia used to get the fucking Westies to do their murders for them, didn't they?
Oh, Glenn Featherstone, dude, he was insane,
the,
but he literally was insane.
Listen, the Irish used to do most of the fucking killing. I mean, look, even in Goodfellas, Jimmy Burke had as much power as any of them guys.
He did. That's the truth. Yep. And he was pure.
Go and watch an interview with John A. Like, I think it was a Gambino hitman, right? I watched one, and he was.
Remember when he thought
Jimmy
D was going to get made? Remember when he thought because basically that was his calling because he couldn't because he was Irish because no matter what, Jimmy D was going to be fucking loyal to Burke. There was no way he was going to.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Well, in Goodfellas, he was saying Jim Burke was just as he said. It's just like them being made.
The thing is, recognise. I tell you how much power Jimmy Burke had, right? You know when they did that heist and he started wiping people out. He was taking out made men from the mafia and getting the go ahead. He was the only one that Henry Hill. Who was the only one that Henry Hill was scared of? It was Jimmy Burke. It weren't the other ones.
Well, hey, brother, no, listen, I just want to give a slight correction. They were all they were all soldiers of the mob. They were all connected to there was two families they were connected to, but he actually didn't off any of the maid members because just by I forget the actual name of it, but they would have to kill him because he was not what you can't kill a maid man.
Hey, hang on a sec. You must have forgot about Billy Batts there.
What's that? Oh, well, exactly, brother. But that's the reason why. Remember, they said they never actually could prove that what's his name did it, but just by rumor alone got him killed.
He was sitting there toe punting Billy Batts in the face, weren't he?
well, that's the mob's number one rule, dude. Like, put it this way, man. My girlfriend's old man, Blackie McKay, dude, like one of the toughest motherfuckers. This kid's reputation went on forever, right? Like he said, when he was in New York once. And there was a fucking Gambino captain in the bar, and he could tell this dude was busting his balls, just being a fucking prick to him. But when he finally fucking gave him lip, the guy reached back and cold cocked Blackie. And I said, "No," like, so what'd you do? He goes, "Dude, I did nothing. The guy was a captain. I couldn't put my hands on him. They were fucking chopped me into 1,000 pieces." But he said it was because I didn't. He said because I didn't touch him though, because I didn't swing back, I instantly earned their respect. I didn't hit a man.
So Jimmy Burke was as powerful. Jimmy Burke was as powerful as any of those guys.
Because he made so much money, dude. He was one of the biggest earners of the day.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
Jimmy Burke was. Jimmy Burke was. I was watching this thing about. It's this guy. He's an African American guy. He's a prison channel. Talks about life in the joint, and he was saying that this guy was in prison with Jimmy Burke, and Jimmy Burke had a problem with him, right? And this guy says, "Oh, didn't you do anything?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Even though there was a lot of us black guys, you just didn't go and attack Jimmy Burke like that. It was, you just couldn't attack Jimmy. He's a fucking dangerous guy, even in prison, man."
Hey, real quick. Let me say something, please. D, please mute your mic, man, because there's a lot of interference.
Yeah,
I think you got some echo. And by the way, I don't know if some people can still hear us apparently. And shout out to One Foot Out the Door who says still going, and he just donated a super chat. So shout out to One Foot. Yeah, so some people can still hear us, but if you leave now,
but they can't see nothing. That's what it is. They can't see.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey guys, in the chat room, if you can still hear us and see us, please let us know. But also, I'm still YouTube. If you leave the link now, you're never gonna be able to come back. We're in limbo right now. So
yeah. I mean, there's got to be something wrong because obviously the numbers have deteriorated quite a bit badly, and there's definitely something going on.
And Stu, listen, brother, I want you to know, dude, I can't stand people. Oh, let me correct you on something. The only reason why I corrected you on that one point, dude. Cool, but I wanted to explain why, because you know a shit ton about the mob. That's why I'm impressed by you, because I've heard you talk about it. So I just wanted you to know, like, he did kill actual guys. Put it this way: if he wasn't who he was, just who he killed would have got him killed for not getting permission. But it was because he was such a huge earner. Like, he killed,
I agree
he
with that,
kicked up a lot of money.
With Jimmy Burke. Jimmy Burke was the muscle for a lot of them guys. I don't think, even John Allen, I don't think them guys would have gone to war with Jimmy Burke. That's what I'm saying. The mafia were I think we give them a bit more credit. We class them as a bit more dangerous than they actually were. Yes, they did a lot of their power by using crooked police and crooked judges and stuff like that, and bullying the working class. But when it comes to going to war with, say, the Albanians. I mean, John Alite was saying that the Albanians killed a fucking a boss's son, and nothing happened. They didn't do nothing. Right now, if you kill a boss's son, if you kill a boss's son, say again.
Can you repeat the last like 20 seconds? I checked out my thing.
I was saying that we give them I think we give them a bit more credit, thinking they're a bit more powerful than they actually were. There's all right when they was bullying the working class and they had crooked coppers in their pocket. Yeah, they're dangerous. If they wanted you dead, they'd get you dead. But but when it comes to going to war with proper gangs, they didn't fancy it. I mean, let's be real. I mean, they weren't even doing their own killings half the time. It was the Irish and the blacks doing the killings for them.
So, yeah, they would hire. They would hire out hitmen. Yeah, they would definitely hire.
And look, Jimmy Burke was as powerful as them. Why would they go to war with Jimmy Burke? And it's like John Alite said. He said when one of the bosses, I think it was it might have been the Colombo family. I think it might have been the Colombo family. Anyway, one of the bosses, his son was murdered by the Albanians. Now that was
Gambino's nephew.
Death sentence, surely. No, them Albanians still walking around to this day. They didn't do nothing. Do you know why? Because they didn't want to go to war with the Albanians. So look,
well, it depends on when that was, though. If it was the 1990s, by like the 70s, though, Stu, like there was nobody.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I'm talking about the 90s. But even the 70s, right? Even the 70s, Jimmy Burke had a lot of clout, mate.
But dude, there was check out the numbers, though, brother. Right, 4,800 just in New York alone. 4,800 associates, 1,200 made men. Just in a call, dude. They had guys because there's two types of dude. There's the slick dudes who are earners. They don't have to get dirt. They don't have to put in any work. And then there's murderers, dude. And the only way they can stay relevant, they have to do work and stuff. But look, listen. If Burke, like that kid they killed, Burke. Remember the kid they offed? They said, "There's nothing we can do. Sorry, there's nothing we can do." And Burke smashed the phone. Yeah, believe me, Burke loved, but you know what I mean? Because Burke loved him like a brother. If he wanted to, like if he really, but he knew there was nothing he could do. Like you said, there's nothing we can do.
But Jimmy Burke's not stupid. He's not going to go to war with the mafia. But my point is that they'd be stupid to go to war with Jimmy Burke as well. He's not just some little fucking guy that can roll over. It's going to get messy.
Deep. And plus, again, dude, because his money, dude.
Look, the Westies. Do not finish the Westies off. They turned on each other. Typical Irish trait where they get drugged up and they're
cocaine and drugs.
Turn on their own, and that's what killed the West. They were getting paranoid, you see, and assassinating their friends for the smallest of things. And there's no fucker left. But the Westies were far more dangerous.
Most people don't even know about them, dude. That's impressive that you even know about that. Most people don't even know about the Westies.
Of course,
they remind me of some stories of Puerto Ricans, bro. When they just like Puerto Ricans turned on each other. When Puerto Ricans turned on each other, bro, they started doing hits like on other Ricans for like other Spanish ethnic groups. They were like, "Yeah, I'll fucking kill them. Don't worry about it. Give me the money."
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna end the stream because I mean, it's a lot of people are not coming back after. I don't think a lot of people are going to be coming back afterwards, and even then, nothing's loading yet. There's nothing loading. Now, some people were saying that, again, certain former New York mayor was talking about a certain allegations of fraud, and so that's why it seems like YouTube has crashed.
YouTube crashed.
Did you see that? Did I put it in there? You see that?
Yeah, I read it.
Hey guys, how do you guys in America feel? Do you think this could get turned? Because like you can't turn a blind eye to this evidence that's coming up. Even a court can't do that.
Well, it's a Pennsylvania the Pennsylvania judiciary is mostly Republican, so that's on their favor. It seems to be going to be going down party line. But the thing is,
apparently, sorry, Jimmy, but apparently Georgia have declared a recount today.
Did they make any declarations? I hope they didn't.
They've come out. The guys come out and did a statement in front of the press saying we're going to do a recount.
Because that's the Senate's holding on to right now by Georgia.
He said it's for the integrity of the elections. So they're going to have a recount. I got a feeling that's going to switch back over to Trump.
Well, Trump is.
Stu, real quick, something that D put in the chat in the Discord private chat. That's also a big thing too. That's something that they're trying to.
I'm gonna say. Let me hear it. Reckon I say that again. Sorry, D. I can't hear him, so I need to hear. Listen.
Okay, so right? I think it's better that you guys read it on the Discord if you could. But if not, it has something to do with the let's just say prostitution.
Yeah,
or worse.
There's election fraud in Nevada too. Recognize they're doing recount there as well in Nevada.
Yeah, but recognize you know about that too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't like how he said that. Of course I do. Yeah, of course.
No, because it's no, okay, because this is what it is.
Go ahead.
It's a battle of the elites. Okay, so on the Orange Man side, they don't want this to go down as well because they have their own agenda, and they got dirt on the other side that own the media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they have dirt on them. They have so much dirt. So I think what D put down, I think that's a product of like, oh, you guys are gonna play me like this, then we're gonna go to war. It's like a political Cold War.
But some of that shit was going down. Some of that shit was going down some of that shit was going down even before this whole malarkey.
Well, recognize, you guys know this. Did you hear about this? 2 people in the inside of the Trump campaign. Well, he's already told. He put out a thing. He fired some people, and they were told if we even hear you're acting like we're leaving, we're a transition, you're fired. But then on top of that, people like his son said, if they do this, if they for some reason are able to steal this election and push him out, which is clearly fraudulent votes, he said, what's to stop my father from releasing classified information like the Kennedy assassination, all these other things that aren't supposed to be released for another 50 to 100 years?
Yeah.
The government, they said the government scared shit about that.
Anyone that knew anything about that case has been taken out. I mean, it's only like certain people on their deathbeds and all, coming out and saying certain things that we don't already know. I mean, look, that Warren.
Well, there's still some stuff redacted. There's still redacted stuff, and I guess about that case and other stuff that they could release.
Jimmy, that Warren report, Jimmy. Can you actually look at that Warren report and take that serious?
No.
But look, check this out though. I'm like, I don't know if any of you guys, but I'm on a couple of encrypted sites, right? So it's blocked from mainstream media. And this news, like what Demi's talking about now, look, fam, I already read something too that Donald Trump has already handed out to 12 members of his cabinet declassification paperwork. And if the shit goes down, he's already given them the order to release it prior to the GOP changing over power.
Oh,
so
shit's hitting the fan.
Fucking word that they're going to change power over to the Bidens, then they already have the order out to release the declassified information. I read that shit just a couple of days ago.
What does that mean then?
Well, it's the same shit that Jimmy was just talking about. All of these fucking things that's supposed to stay classified for 50 to 100 years. The president has power to declassify it, actually.
Like stuff, dude, like UFO stuff.
This is getting interesting. This is, man.
Assassination things. The assassination of Robert Kennedy. There's all kinds of classification stuff. Like if you go to the Freedom of Information Act, there's certain things that are just classified, and they say there's an expiration date when they're going to release it. And there's all these things that are not supposed to be released for another. Because what they want to do is, like Watergate and all that stuff, is wait for all the parties involved to make sure their lives are over before they leak this information, so people who are still alive don't get hammered. And if he starts letting shit loose, he could upset a lot of people, especially a deep fucking state.
Hey, by the way, if they do,
there's a lot of Democrats, because I'm subscribed to a few political channels, and there's a lot of Democrats shitting their pants right now. And what's all this infighting? If they've won, why are they infighting? They know a storm's coming. I mean, apparently Nancy Pelosi's lost her seat on the head of the
House. 6 seats.
Yeah.
Well, because the progressives are saying you guys fucking botched this election. Because remember, it was supposed to be a blue wave. They were supposed to take all fucking seats in the, take the House, the Senate, the presidency by huge numbers. So they're saying it's an object of failure, especially by losing so much minority vote. So the progressives are saying you guys have failed us over and over. Let us take over. And the hardline moderate Democrats, if you can actually call them that, is saying, bullshit, it's your absurd leftist progressive policies that have driven this party so far left. Yes, which have driven millions of people to Trump's. Because remember, dude, as it stands right now, this isn't even counting the elections, the fucking votes that were for Trump that were counted for Biden, which some people are estimating in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Trump got 72 million Americans to vote for him. And you would think the left, if they actually thought they were winning, right? If they actually thought, oh, this is just we're going to win. This is all just fucking smoke and mirrors. Why are they saying this absurd shit like truth in a fucking panels where they want to bring people in front of the Senate and have them basically apologize for their Trumpism? That's a dangerous thing. When you start making lists, the country goes to civil war. Let me just tell you that.
You just look at the fucking rallies. Like Trump had rallies with thousands of people there, right? Fucking Biden had rallies that looked like a fucking office picnic. You know what I mean?
Hey, D. But that explains. Hey, hold on.
You know what I mean?
That explains the voting for Biden because they were all dead.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people standing around with some fucking donuts and drinks and shit, like an office party or something. But Trump
they were.
I think a few of them. I think a few of them are shitting themselves. That's why that guy from Georgia has declared a recount because there's lawsuits going on. Giuliani's going after them all, mate. And let me tell you something now. That is a prison sentence. Anyone getting caught fraud in an election is getting a few years in prison, I can assure you. And their asses are twinging. And apparently, I'm hearing what state was it? I'm hearing Arizona could be switched over as well. No, and Nevada.
Nevada, yeah.
Well, dude, like Douglas Murray, the guy from England, who's one of my favorite writers.
I like Douglas Murray, yeah.
Yeah, Doug, he just gets to the point. But like he said you would have to be a fool to look at. He said you looked at Trump, he would get, like you said, 57,000 people to a fucking rally. He had Hispanic, 90-mile long Hispanic car chains doing these Trump rallies. He said you've never seen in U.S. politician, in history, never mind the Republican Party, generate so much fucking homegrown thing, and they say all of a sudden this stumbling, senile, and most likely criminal man was just got more votes than Obama. He says it doesn't make sense.
It's always all that fraud.
What about Wisconsin? Wisconsin is shady too because that's the one that Trump was leading hands down. Then they caught up in the very end, man, and that's where the BLM is stationed too. That was the first ones that was very suspicious. Wisconsin.
Did you expect it any different though? Did you expect any different from Philadelphia? You've seen the fucking chumps that run that place. What about what was the other place? Atlanta. I mean, who runs Atlanta? We'll say no more. I mean, who else was it? I mean, like Las Vegas is Las Vegas has always been Democrat, but it's starting to turn for me. Las Vegas around there. So there's something going wrong in Nevada. I think Trump won that comfortably. I think that could get turned, Nevada. But look, it's just. It's funny how like Florida and Texas, right? States that are like 2 times bigger than these places can get it all done on the night. Yet these places can't. It's funny how Trump's leading and about to get called, and then all of a sudden the count stops, and then these fucking votes come from nowhere. Anyone with half a brain cell can see what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
In fucking Atlanta,
Stu, to your point,
Dick Love
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Barack Obama fucking, making everything good for the fags and the gays and shit. I hope he's not on anymore. But look, man, the fucking Democrats, they've been sucked off Atlanta. They've been did that with Obama and his bullshit. I mean, look, man, what's the fucking Michael Obama? That's a fucking man.
Okay.
Who talks about even to this day she deals with racism?
Hey mate, did you see that? There's video evidence of his dick. You can see his dick.
Do you know what?
It's bigger than mine. Shit.
Do you know where fucking the Obamas moved to? Do you know where they live now? They live in my state. They live in Massachusetts on Vineyard. They live at the fucking Cape on Martha's Vineyard, dude. $15 million house right on the beach on the whitest neighborhood in the Northeast.
Of course, Obama's a fucking coconut, man. Obama's always been a coconut.
That shows you right there, like these fucking Democrats. You look at Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, right? They go into the office worth like $12, $13 million. They come out worth $130 million. Fucking Obama's going there worth like 1.7, 1.9. They leave the office worth 70 million. Then they talk about some fucking book. He didn't sell that many fucking books. What the fuck is wrong
What he
with
did, where he claimed his money, dude. I checked in his tax returns because you have to put them public. Where he made his money was the green energy sector paid him. He was getting upwards of $4 million for one weekend speaking engagement. So this was his, because I read his speech. His speech was this: if we don't make massive change, it's got what by 2030, the U.S. coastlines will be decimated. If it's calling weather, global threat, fucking change our biggest threat. And then after collecting all that money from all those fees, he buys a house right on the fucking beach.
Hey, do you know the thing is though, Jimmy, right? These speeches, it's a money launder, right? They're not getting paid that much money for the speech. What they're doing, they're taking a donation off someone, right? They're taking a backhander, let's just say, and to get away with it, because you're not allowed to take backhanders from foreign governments. To get away with it, they'll say it's a speech. I mean, come on, Obama. Would you pay Obama $1 million to listen to him drivel on? Do you know what I mean? Of course you wouldn't. So
The same goes for Hillary too, as well. I think she gets paid the same shit too.
It's a money launder. They use it because Bill Clinton made a fucking absolute fortune doing it. They reckon he was getting his money, all these big fees for these speeches. It weren't for that. It was back.
Well, he set up how he did his money was this the Clinton Foundation. Okay, brother.
Click on that picture that I just put up. Just click on that picture. You ain't gonna find it online. It's from off one of these encrypted sites. As soon as they hit online, they snatch this shit down. Click on that fucking picture. Can't manufacture that shit. There ain't no fucking Photoshop. And they took that motherfucker offline as soon as it popped up. It wasn't even online for like 10 fucking seconds. I'm not bullshitting you. They took it down. You can find it on a couple of these encrypted sites that I'm on. Just look at that shit.
Is that Michelle Obama's dick?
That's Michael Obama, Big Mike. That's what his name is, Big Mike.
You know one thing I've been. You know one thing I've been.
There, man.
Okay, come on. No, but you know what? One thing I've been reading about that is they talk about how when they go to these fraternities, they do gay stuff. That's been pretty much well known. But one thing that people theorize, what people theorize is that that's only the first level to see who's willing to do it, and then they upgrade it. Because there was one guy a couple of years ago, as a reporter, he snuck into a private club or something in New York, and he was Mayor de Blasio or somebody else was there, and a couple of other high prominent people, and they were doing like a drag show, like a musical drag show. And that club, nobody was able to go in there unless they had an invite. This guy did it like Eyes Wide Shut style. He just snuck in there, and he actually took pictures of it. So this is what they're doing, man. They're dressing in drag queen, and that's just what they do, at the first level. Yeah, the tip of the. Imagine what they do behind closed doors when there's cocaine, when there's guards, when they got things that can scramble signals so that you don't spy on them via parabolics and all that. That shit goes on, man. Because I mean, why is
the best politician?
My wife's hands are way smaller than mine, right? I don't know if any of you guys have a girl or a wife that her fucking hands are bigger than fucking Obama's, man. The bitch could palm a fucking basketball. No bullshit. Like, that's a dude, bro. That's a fucking dude.
Her fucking package is bigger than Obama's.
Hey, did you see that little fucking? Did you see that little homo that came out and said that when Obama was the senator of Chicago,
apparently they were lovers. He's dead. That guy's dead.
Yeah, this guy used to apparently Obama used to fucking smoke loads of crack, and then
dude, he's dead. You know that, right?
No, I'm still alive.
Suck him off while he's smoking a pipe. Apparently, Obama was. Now, honestly, this guy said Obama used to make him suck him off while he was smoking a pipe and stuff.
I believe it. You see the documentary about his brother George? Like how he fucking abandoned him and shit over. I'm dead serious. Over in Africa and shit. Didn't even fucking visit him. Didn't send him a fucking nickel and shit. Like how you abandon your own fucking brother, man.
His brother put him on blast. He said, no, his brother said, no, he was born here.
Obama didn't do a damn thing for fucking black people. All he did is he did everything for everyone else on the planet apart from them, really. I mean, let's be real. I mean, can you remember when Obama was named president and there was people going, oh, Obama's going to pay my bills. We've got it. And Obama ain't paying shit, man.
Obama gonna call
Of
you
course
Romeo.
not, man.
Obama was the biggest fucking lie in this country. Out of
He
all the
was,
fucking
man.
presidents we had, I'm telling you now, and I'm glad
He's a
we
rat.
all, because I'm getting ready to say some real
No,
nasty shit.
wait. Some people can still hear us. Some people can still hear us, man.
Oh, okay, well then
I'm
I'll
about to. Actually, I'm about to.
Hold
on, people.
Say
Please,
it,
please,
DT.
please. I'm about to end it. So I'll let you know when I'm about. So I'm just saying to anybody that can still hear us, shout out
So
to
we
you
can
guys.
still talk in the private.
Yeah. But just shout out to everybody who donated with the super chat. Everybody that was here listening. Everybody in the super chat. If you can still hear us, shout out to you guys. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And I'm gonna end it right now. Hold on. Let me just confirm with the people here on Discord. Hold on.